You're tuning in to the Raised by Rentals program. This podcast will contain strong language and spoilers for decades-old media properties.
Join us.
Welcome, everybody. This is the podcast where we examine pop culture franchises of the VHS era, but also double dip, spare a square, and giddy up so we can imagine how we might improve our favorite movies, TV, and games. I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
And we were Raised by Rentals. Mike, it's almost time for the most secular holiday of the year, that joyous occasion between Hanukkah and Christmas when we celebrate a Festivus for the rest of us.
Yes, indeedy. I am ready to air some grievances.
I'm ready for some feats of strength. Oh, God. So, for those of you who listen to the show, you're probably of an age to remember Seinfeld and remember one of the greatest TV shows of all time, one of the greatest episodes of said TV show. But if you don't know, you're not familiar with what Festivus is, we'll go into the history of it a little bit because it's actually a little bit more interesting, and it does predate Seinfeld. But in 1997, during Seinfeld's 9th season, the 10th episode, they did a holiday special, not about Christmas, not about Hanukkah, but about Festivus, a supposedly made-up holiday, a holiday that the character George Costanza, his dad, Frank Costanza, played by Jerry Stiller, supposedly made up as a replacement for the commercialist, overhyped, overdone holidays of Hanukkah and Christmas. So he called this celebration Festivus, a Festivus for the rest of us, which they celebrate on December 23rd. And Mike, you're familiar with this, so help me fill this in. They had some pretty ridiculous traditions.
They had, well, first of all, it's a non-commercial and non-denominational. So no religion involved, no gift giving, none of that crap. In fact, they have, instead of a Christmas tree, they have an unadorned aluminum pole. Why? Because tinsel is distracting, damn it.
And don't forget that the unadorned aluminum pole has to have a great strength to weight ratio.
This is true. And of course, they have the airing of grievances, which is my favorite part, where everybody goes around the table and they share how everyone else has disappointed them throughout the year.
Yes. And you mentioned around the table, which, of course, this is done at the Festivus meal on December 23rd. Festivus dinner, that's true, where they eat, ham or turkey? Is that the traditional Festivus meal?
It's, according to what I read, either or, but yes, traditionally a ham or a turkey.
And you can't forget to finish off the Festivus dinner with the feats of strength, where the guests at the dinner have to wrestle the head of household until he is pinned in defeat.
and only then can Festivus end, when the head of the household has been pinned.
That's right. Which, it begs the question, if you can't pin your dad, does Festivus just never end?
I feel like, didn't they mention something like George couldn't have his Hanukkah presents until he pinned his dad? Wasn't there am I remembering that wrong? I haven't watched the episode in forever.
I think so. I mean, George Costanza definitely had a lot of bad memories associated to it, to the point where every time Festivus came up in conversation, he would literally pull his hair out and get all flustered and storm off, he had terrible memories associated with the feats of strength.
Because he couldn't pin his dad.
And there's one other one that I'm glad that Wikipedia pointed out to me, because I didn't really notice it. But yeah, they definitely do it several times during the episode, which is that you attribute easily explainable events as Festivus miracles.
Yes, I forgot about that one. It's one of those things, I believe in the episode, didn't Kramer think that it was a miracle because Elaine was trying to avoid somebody and he accidentally brought them to the Festivus celebration, and she was like, "What the hell, Kramer?" And he's like, "It's a Festivus miracle."
Yeah, exactly. It happens a few times, but yeah, there's 4 plot lines that run through that episode, which is called The Strike. There's the story of George. It was his desire to not spend any money on Christmas gifts at the company he works for, and he attempts
Right.
to come up with like a fake charity to donate money to, and that kind of rolls into the
The Human
revelation.
Foundation.
Yes, exactly. That rolls into the revelation that his family used to celebrate Festivus, which is part of the reason why he doesn't like holidays that much. And then Jerry was dating this woman whose name I can't remember, I'm sorry. And it was the episode where she looks really ugly in bad lighting, so he called her the Two-Face, you know?
Yes.
So she was like really pretty, and then she would like turn around into some bad lighting and just look really terrible. And at the same time, Kramer, who had supposedly been on strike from working at a bagel shop for the last 12 years, goes back to work at the bagel shop only to go on strike again because they're infringing on his religious freedom to celebrate Festivus that he just learned about.
I forgot about that part. Yes.
And then Elaine, for some reason, is obsessed with getting the free sub sandwich that she's owed after getting her sub loyalty card stamped 24 times. But she accidentally gives the card to some guy who was hitting on her at a party with a fake phone number on it. And there's this whole complicated like phone tag story where she's trying to find the guy who has her subway card, but she keeps giving out fake numbers or the wrong numbers, and eventually some of the guys that she gave the fake numbers to end up coming to the Festivus dinner with Kramer.
Right, because I think she uses the bagel shop as one of the numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh man, it's been a while. I'm gonna have to rewatch that this year because
I just watched it today, so it's like fresh in my head. But yeah, she uses a fake number that's for this like off-track betting place, and then they go there and they're like,
right.
"Oh, you're Elaine Bennis. We keep getting calls from you." And then they want her real number, and she's afraid of all of these like creepy guys, so she gives them another fake number, which is the bagel shop where Kramer was working, because she assumes that Kramer is going to answer the phone. And she tells him what to say, but then he goes on strike for the second time. So she's like hanging out at the bagel shop the whole time. In usual Seinfeld fashion, like it's all about nothing and amounts to nothing, but it's fucking hilarious.
I love it. So for this episode, we have cooked up something weird.
Definitely weird. I want to say one last thing before we get into it, which is that Can you believe that this is the first time that we have done an episode this season based on a TV property, which of course is Seinfeld from the 90s. Even though at the beginning of every episode we say that we're going to improve our favorite movies, TV, and games, we have not done a TV property this season. And we never did one last season either. In fact, we have only ever done 2 TV properties ever, both in the first season, which were when we made Police Academy into a TV show, and then when we adapted a movie out of Living in a Van Down by the River from SNL.
Oh, yeah. Holy crap. Yeah, we really haven't. You know what it is? It's because when we first set up this show and we were spitballing properties, we came up with a lot of television show properties that were like, oh, yeah, whatever happened to that show? Or, hey, that show never ended. Like, we had all these, like, delusions of grandeur of how we were just going to, like, rewatch these TV shows and come up with a proper ending. And we don't got the fucking time for that. So.
Right? That's exactly the problem.
That's not going to happen.
I'm sorry, it's too much homework. I can't do it. In fact, the only other time we ever talked at any length about TV was way back in one of our early rental rants, the second one, where we had a talk about how TV shows are too fucking long these days, but That was like 2 years ago.
And, I feel like we will eventually touch on some of those original ideas, even if it's just in like hyper fast, like, okay, this is what we originally were planning, we're not going to do it type of conversation. But, I can't see many more full TV shows. I could see taking a TV show and adapting it to a movie a la the Beverly Hillbillies or the Brady Bunch. I could see us doing something like that. But yeah, TV shows in general are tough.
Yeah, it's too much homework. I mean, I guess it would be easier to just watch like YouTube supercuts or fall down one of those rabbit holes where somebody on TikTok posts every episode in a TV season like 3 minutes at a time.
Right.
But yeah, so whatever. We're not going to take it out of our intro. We're not going to take it out of like the overall show format, but something to think about for season
Mhm.
4, I think. Mike, hang on. There's one thing that I have to point out. We have an egregious error that we must apologize to the listeners for. And I'm so angry that I didn't notice it until it was far too late. But we have to retroactively patch in a scene to our previous episode, the Planes, Trains, and Batmobiles Thanksgiving special, because we never closed the loop on what happened to Bruce Wayne's Batman briefcase that the John Lovitz
Ah,
salesman guy from the airport accidentally took home.
I forgot about that.
We had kind of mentioned it during a break. We're like, oh, it'd be funny if we did this like stinger at the end. And so after we had this John Lovitz guy like accidentally do the switcheroo on the briefcases just so that we could have Bruce Wayne like lose his bat suit and his toys, um,
Mhm.
then because we were like, oh, it'd be funny to do the stinger, like let's put the scene in where we see John Lovitz like get home and realize he has the bat suit in the briefcase. But then we, we were
Yep.
we were supposed to stop after we like fade to black, roll credits, and we were going to do a mid credit or end credit scene where you you see John Levis's wife, and I forget if we had mentioned like who she was supposed to be played by, but she's like, honey, you in there? And I don't even remember the fucking character's name now, but she's
Right.
like, are you coming to bed? And she's wearing like very traditional like 80s like I don't know lingerie like nightgown kind of thing. Like obviously she's like come here honey, come warm up the bed with me,
Right.
and then you see the bathroom door open in this like dark bedroom, and there's this like rectangle of yellow light, and then you see the shadow of like the bat symbol because you see the ears on the bat suit. John Lovitz steps out of the bathroom in like full on 1989 Batman like rubber gear and just says, I'm Batman.
Yes.
Oh god.
Oh, and I hate that we forgot to add that. Like we were in such a rush to because we had the limited time that night.
Yeah, we ended up having to like rush to the end and just wrap it up. And while I thought the episode worked pretty well, we kind of ran around in circles a little bit, but we had a lot of fun with it when we finally got kind of like on the road, so to speak. But yeah, we got to the end, and I think we were both kind of relieved that we were able to like drive it all the way home, and that we
Right.
were just like, okay, we're done now. I'm exhausted, and like totally forgot to do the stinger.
Oh, that sucks. But there you go, folks. That was the stinger we originally planned, but didn't get there. That's the problem with doing these episodes the way we do them, where it's all stream of consciousness. Like we talk about a few moments, and then we're like, oh yeah, we got to include that, and then stream of consciousness takes you elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, oh fuck. Sometimes it takes breaks, and it's like, okay, cool. Like when we get back, like let's do this. But yeah, it didn't work out. But anyway,
One thing I do want to mention about Festivus before we get too deep into this is the actual Festivus celebration. Was it writer Dan O'Keefe? It was his dad that made it up.
yeah, his dad is Daniel. I think they're both
Daniel.
named Daniel and Dan to differentiate the two. But yeah, his dad was a writer, like a journalist type of writer.
Hmm. And his dad was the one who created this holiday, so it was something that he had celebrated with his family, and then obviously brought it to the writers' room over at Seinfeld. But one of the things they didn't include in the Seinfeld episode that was something his dad did that I find incredibly intriguing is he would take a random clock from their house, put it in a bag, and nail it to the wall. And when Dan would ask his dad why he did that, his dad would only respond with, "That's for me to know." So I'm incredibly intrigued by what the hell the significance of the clock in the bag was. But just something to think about, because I feel like that could be useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's definitely a weird detail that I thought about too when I was learning of it today, especially since they made a point in the article that I read to mention that nailing the clock in a bag to the wall had to be done in secret and then
Yes.
like proudly revealed to the family, like, haha, look what I have done.
It's so fucking strange. I
Yeah.
love it.
I really, really want to read the book now that Dan O'Keefe, the son, the writer from Seinfeld, he wrote a book that came out in 2005 called The Real Festivus. It's a kind of memoir where he goes into the backstory. And I didn't have time before recording today to get into it, but it's definitely something that I'm probably going to put on my list of audiobooks to check out soon.
Ooh, I'd be interested in checking that out myself. That's just intriguing because it's such a weird concept.
Right? So, but what's an even weirder concept is when like 2 months ago you were driving to work and you sent me an audio clip where you recorded yourself going like, dude, I got this idea.
Yep.
And
And it was because I was watching so many Halloween movies.
yeah, and it was basically, I won't get into all the detail of it, but it basically came down to you saying, like, I really want to do a story that's kind of like the Town That Dreaded Sundown, where everyone's afraid to like do anything or go out, but what they're afraid of is the holiday. Like they're afraid to celebrate a holiday because there was some terrible event that happened on the holiday, so they had to cancel it forever. But every time they celebrate the holiday, everyone like gets scared that something horrible is going to happen because it did in the past.
It's
And
cursed.
so yeah, like the holiday is cursed. But then it was a question of like, well, which holiday? It was sort of the town that feared blank. Like which one do we slot in? And we batted a couple of ideas around. I had kind of a blasphemous idea that I was really excited about with Easter, and I think it made you a little bit uncomfortable.
Yeah, I was like, maybe not that one.
And then you were like, it could be something as stupid as Arbor Day. But the problem with Arbor Day is there just really aren't a lot of like interesting details about it, other than it's just kind of silly as a holiday. Not silly as like a concept or an objective, but it's just kind of a silly thing to have on the calendar every year. And so that kind of led us to, we need a holiday that is both fun and something you wouldn't expect to see a movie made about, but also has like just interesting traditions that we can play off of. And being Gen Xennials and children of the 90s, of course we thought of Festivus.
Exactly. And I think it was just because the title tickled you so much, because you're the one that came up with Festivus, because we were batting this back and forth. Like let me back up for a moment. The message that I sent Josh was because me and Maurice and Susie were watching some of the worst of the Halloween movies. And for anyone that's watched or listened to the Boogeyman's Closet episodes of those, I've bitched repeatedly, like, why the fuck does Haddonfield keep celebrating Halloween? Like, they keep having horrible things happen on Halloween in their small town. Why would you celebrate it? Like,
Right?
just cancel Halloween already. So that's kind of what what kickstarted this idea. And when I was suggesting this for the show, I was like, maybe we do Christmas, because we hadn't come up with all of our Christmas ideas yet. And it's like, but we, there's so many Christmas horror movies. And I was like, maybe Thanksgiving. And it's like, yeah, there was just the Thanksgiving by Eli Roth. Like, maybe this is going to be too derivative. So we're batting ideas around. And then you just went, the Town That Dreaded Festivus. And I fucking lost my shit. So I was like, that's it. It's Festivus. We have to use Festivus because Josh said the Town That Dreaded Festivus, and it tickled me. So,
well, it's like we mentioned in one of our other episodes, where sometimes the title comes first,
yes.
and sometimes we come up with an idea and I don't know what the fuck to call it. We've had some weird and kind of boring titles over, the 3 seasons, because sometimes it's just like, well, the idea was the hook and the title isn't as important or as cool. And sometimes I just come up with a good title, or you come up with a good title, and it's like, look, oh my God, there has got to be a movie or a story called that. Like, we have to have something called, like, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter Got Whacked, or whatever,
Right.
like, or Planes, Trains, and Batmobiles. Like, that just needs to be a thing.
100%. And that's kind of what happened here, is that, I had a concept, but I didn't have a title. And once you gave me the title, I'm like, well, I have to tie the two together now. So the hard part was trying to figure out how these two things are going to tie together. And I think I got us a jumping off point. And then we have, so here's the thing, dear listeners, you'll have to bear with us as we figure some shit out. Because we just, I have a basic pitch, and we're going to run from there. So this hopefully will not be a sprawling mess, but I think we can do this. So the original episode aired in 1997. So in our talks, we're trying to figure out, is this enough time? Are we going to set this in present day? So I think what we're going to end up doing is we are going to set the story in present day, which I know is kind of blasphemous, but we've done this with a few of our other episodes, including the Vangabus and Hot Garbage. Hot Garbage, I believe, was the 80s, right?
Hot Garbage, I don't know if I made it clear, but I definitely wanted it to be like the dirty New York of the 80s or 90s. But yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
meant to be modern day. And a lot
Right.
of times we avoid modern day because we have to avoid the issue of the cell phones,
Yes.
which we've solved a few times. I think most recently in Enter Cotton Eye Joe, the sequel to The Big Bus of Death, where,
Mhm.
you came up with a funny way of just making them not work. But the cell phone problem is kind of the bane of modern horror movies.
It totally is. But yeah, so we do have some horror movies that take place in modern times. So, and once again, because this is just kind of what we do. This is going to be a horror story, obviously, with the town that dreaded Festivus.
Yeah, why
So,
not?
but yeah, it would take place in modern day because the Seinfeld episode was 97. So here's my little pitch, and we can work off of it. So I want to have this small little town, and for whatever reason, I kept thinking Utah. Like I wanted it to be in Utah, and I looked up a couple towns in Utah, and hopefully none of our listeners are from the town of New Harmony, because I apologize ahead of time if you are. But we wanted to set it in New Harmony because it's a small town in Utah, and they just have this fun idea of making the Seinfeld episode of Festivus into an actual holiday. So the mayor of the town is going to set up this little holiday, and something horrible happens, where I want to have a character. We'll just call him Benson Stills. Okay, so we have this character Benson Stills, who at the town Festivus celebration is they're doing the airing of grievances, and he's going to be standing there amongst a crowd, and it's a small town, so everyone knows each other. It would be a very humorous in such a tiny location, because you know how it is, and fuck, even in Niagara Falls, everyone knows everyone else's fucking business, and it's not that small of a town. It's
Yeah, I mean, there's at least what a couple of dozen thousand people in Niagara Falls. I don't know offhand,
Yeah,
but
it's a few thousand.
New Harmony's like 200 people. Like
Exactly. This is
literally
like
everybody knows everyone, and everyone's related to everyone.
right. So this would be one of those things where, like, oh, you hear what old Mr. Witherby is up to? Like, everyone's gonna fucking know. So in a town that tight knit, when you do the airing of grievances, it's gonna be very humorous because most people are already gonna know what the hell's going on. So with Benson, when he gets to his grievances to air, he reveals that the mayor. What do we want to call the mayor? Let's back up for a second. So I definitely want to call the killer Benson Stills, or the this guy Benson Stills.
Yeah. Well, you had mentioned like this little town in the middle of nowhere wanting to make Festivus like a real holiday, which leads me to believe like why? Is it just like for fun? Is it like a publicity stunt? And I kind of think that's what it is. Like it's sort of a publicity stunt to bring some attention to this like backwater, middle of nowhere little burg. So like,
Sure.
what if the mayor's name is O'Keefe, which is the same name as Dan
Oh, nice.
O'Keefe and his dad who invented Festivus. So like what if that's the key? Like what if the mayor like sees that, the TV show, and he sees like, the names of the writers on the screen. He's like, "Oh, hey, my name's O'Keefe." And it just starts the ball rolling in his head of like, "Oh man, this would be a really fun thing to do out here in the middle of nowhere if we became, the town that celebrated Festivus."
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, he's O'Keefe. Like I don't know, like fucking Ned O'Keefe. Let's just call him.
Sure. Yeah,
So Ned O'Keefe is the mayor. So yeah, just so to your point, like he's the one that created this because he wants to put their sleepy little town on the map. So he's, really encouraging everyone in the town to get into this, and, everyone's having a blast. They're all, hell, having some drinks, having a celebration. It's, they're like, oh, my grievance is that, old Mr. Alexander charges too much for his damn bagels or whatever it is, like just some kind of like people yelling at each other about the different shopkeepers charging too much, stuff like that. We get to Benson, and he airs his grievance that his wife has been sleeping around with the mayor.
Oh shit.
And everybody in town knows. And he points to everyone. He accuses all of them. He's like, you all knew. Every one of you knew. He's like, she's been cavorting behind my back, and every one of you were a part of it. Just kind of like, he's mad at everybody right now. And this is how I pictured it starting, is like him screaming and yelling at everybody, and then pulling a gun on the mayor, like getting up on stage, pulling a gun on the mayor and shooting the mayor dead, just killing him in front of everybody, and just be like, my grievances have been aired. I have shown my feats of strength and defeated the mayor. And like we gotta take him down. So I don't know how we're gonna like get rid of him, if he's gonna kill himself or he's gonna get like shot by the cops or what. So do you have any ideas here? Like how should we get rid of Ben or Benson, I should say, after this this murdering of the mayor in front of the entire town?
Well, yeah, I definitely, like, things are starting to like roll in my head too. Like, first of all, I'm thinking he should say something during this speech about how, like, first I like cut that slut's throat at home, and now it's your turn. Whatever. He pulls the gun out and points at the mayor, just because it kind of also explains, like, what happened to the wife. Poor Tracy.
Yeah, let's call her Tracy.
And yeah, so yeah, he starts, like, after he kills the mayor, he goes back to like waving the gun around at people in the crowd, like, you knew, and he's like, he'll point at somebody, like, again, a town, shopkeeper or somebody. It's like, you knew they kept coming into your coffee shop for like coffee after work every day, and you didn't say anything, and you saw them, on their little at the little corner table with the the romantic candle in the corner of the restaurant. You didn't say anything, and he's just kind of like wildly like waving his gun around. And but this would happen at like the town celebration. You think of these movies about these towns that go all out for certain holidays, and the whole like central square of the town will be decorated for Festivus. There can't be any tinsel though. Just
no, it's gonna be like one aluminum pole like in front of the stage. And
yeah,
have like this, the stage. They have like they have like a clock hanging off the stage in a bag or something.
Yeah, like a real
silly.
big one. Yeah, like a big, like, comically large, clock hanging from a bag, and maybe on the front of it, it just says like, clock in a bag, and there's like a smiley face on it, like,
a little smiley face with its mustache as the hands of the clock.
Yeah, exactly. And there might be some lights, but they're just gonna be very plain, like dull yellow lights, like nothing too flashy. And but yeah, there'll be like a big like aluminum pole with like a bow on it or something. And while he's like Benson Stills is gesticulating and wildly and waving the gun around, maybe you just see these like security guards creeping from different corners of the stage, and then they rush him and tackle him off the stage, but oops, they tackle him right into the giant aluminum pole, and he gets impaled down the middle of it.
That is not what I was expecting, but okay. So yeah, I like that because I actually had an aluminum pole kill in my head, but that's not what I was thinking. I like that. So yeah. So when he's gesticulating at the crowd, like he keeps turning to the security guards and they're like, whoa, hey, like, throwing their hands like, we're cool, man, we're cool. And he's just going around, he's like, and you knew, and he's just like flipping out. And you see, maybe he's loading, like loading more rounds. Like maybe he fired off his gun a couple of times at the mayor, and he's like freaking out and just getting more and more amped up. And while he's distracted, the guards, to your point, they tackle him. They go to tackle him, but he like stumbles and falls off the stage and like gets impaled like right down the gut, and just like that, like you see his intestines all pulled out. And he's like, ah.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can make it super gory depending on what kind of horror movie we want to go with. I mean, this would actually be really funny if we just made this like a splatter fest.
Oh yeah, total like absolute like drenched kind of like. Let's go like Terrifier route where it's just buckets of blood. So like, yeah, he falls onto the pole and like it impales him and like he spins down it just like, like
that's exactly what I was thinking. And like his intestine gets caught at the top and then it just twists around it like a barber pole.
Yes. And he's just laying there in a giant pool of blood while the town, like, slowly encroaches around him. Almost like, like the Who's in Whoville. They just kind of surround him and he's just like laying there dead, and then cut to black. And then it'll be like, 1 year later. And we see like the town. We got a new mayor now. Let's call him, I don't know which we call this new mayor. We already used Ned O'Keefe.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know, something. I picture him being more of a like big white smile politician type. For some reason, I picture someone named Dabney, like Dabney Coleman, looking like
yes.
that. You know what I mean?
I actually always like the name Dabney.
I don't know why I think of Dabney Coleman, but like, yeah, that dude's awesome. And you know what? Like, an underrated movie. I used to love that movie. What's it called? Hot to Trot with Bobcat Goldthwait.
Oh my God, dude!
Goldthwait.
I haven't thought of that movie, and I don't mean to pause the episode, but Hot to Trot. I'm gonna look this up real quick. When did that come out? Fuck, 88. I remember that.
I used to watch that all the time. It was one of those random movies that I had taped off of HBO or Showtime or one of them. Like a movie that like no one else in the world has fucking seen, but like I've seen it so many goddamn times.
Right?
Fucking Hot to Trot, yeah, with Bobcat Goldthwait about a talking racehorse, and
Yes!
Dabney Coleman is in it. And I've always like loved that dude because of that stupid ass movie.
See, and like the two things I always immediately think of with Dabney Coleman. I mean, obviously 9 to 5. Come on, that's like. He's the dick boss, you know. He's fucking great. That movie is really underrated, honestly.
Oh, absolutely, I love that movie.
But also War Games. You know, he's the dad, and he's oh my god, was it Jack Flack? Is the fictional character? I'm looking it up real quick.
I think so.
Now. Yeah, like he's the hero, like the hero in the kid's head. Or no, I'm not. I'm thinking Cloak and Dagger, not War Games. He was in War Games too. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Cloak and Dagger, where he plays the dad, and he plays the character of Jack Flack, the imaginary hero. That's the movie I was thinking of. Cloak and Dagger, not War Games. War Games is the computer one with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was in a bunch of movies in the 80s. He was really big back then. I mean, he was in On Golden Pond and like Rolling Thunder.
Yeah.
I'm just looking up now. He was in Tootsie. Like, he was in a lot of stuff.
I forgot he was in Tootsie. God, I haven't seen Tootsie in forever.
Josh Hibbard will be mad if we don't mention the fact that he's in The Muppets Take Manhattan. I love him in that, too.
Oh, yes, that's right. That is correct.
But yeah, he was in a bunch of stuff.
Dabney Coleman was awesome. Like, it's a great actor. Actually, is he still alive?
No, he passed it just earlier this year.
Oh, no shit. Oh, that sucks. Well, how old was he? 92. God bless.
Jeez. Yeah. God bless him for sure.
Yeah,
absolutely. That's awesome.
That's a nice long life, and he had a great career. But so yes, we will name him Dabney, and now that we killed him, it's kind of a downer. So Dabney Downs.
there you go. Dabney Downs.
I was talking about the man's death. I'm like, that's kind of a downer way to end.
I'm kind of bummed now. But Dabney Downs, that has a real good politician kind of sound to it. So that's pretty perfect. Yeah.
It has a mayoral ring. So.
All right. So Dabney Downs is the mayor now, and then we should cut forward to it's Festivus celebration all over again, and they're going to try this take two.
Yeah, so it's like, so this would be like 99, like Christmas season of 99. So they try this, and what we should have happen is like mysterious accidents start happening around town. So we could have stuff like there's a construction site, like a small construction site, and maybe a bit of scaffolding falls, or maybe they could be hoisting up some girders, and the rope snaps and it falls down and crushes a couple of guys, stuff that is seemingly able to be written off as a horrible tragedy, just oh shit, this accident happened, leading up to Festivus. So we have maybe some construction workers die. We could have something maybe there's a bad car accident, something simple, like someone's brakes didn't work, they ran an intersection, hit somebody, but then we could have stuff where it's okay, this is not an accident. The thing that I'm picturing is they find I don't know what we want to call her, old Mrs. Witherby, something some old gossip of the town. We find her dead in her house with her throat slashed, and maybe a note nearby. I don't know what we wanted to have it say, but something along the lines of she aired her grievances all year long, ruining others' lives, and now she has no more. Her final grievance has been aired, or something along those lines, where it's clearly related to Festivus, and she was fucking murdered. It was no accident.
Yeah. We should do a little bit of a montage, but let's establish a few things in this jump forward here at the beginning. Definitely we need to kill a couple of people, but let's tie some of these deaths together in that they're either related to the reattempt at the Festivus celebration, or kind of tangentially associated in some way. What I mean is these construction guys, well, maybe they were in the middle of lifting up this giant aluminum pole, or putting up rafters for the celebration in the town square.
They were building a stage.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Building this age. And this car accident, what if the car just loses control and crashes into the like clock and lamp store in like downtown, Harmony, right? So like destroy all the clocks where they were selling the decorative like clock in a bag with the little cartoon face on it.
Yes.
And then the whole like while this is happening, the whole time we're kind of cutting back and forth between old Mrs. Witherby is in Mayor Downs's office, just like, I can't believe the people in this town. You wouldn't believe what my neighbor did. She put her trash can out on Wednesday and it's supposed to be out on Thursday. And then, oh my God, the little punks who live across the street. And like the whole time she's bitching about everybody airing her grievances, just this old bag. You're seeing all these people in town get killed. And then it culminates in, her getting killed with somebody leaving that note about, her, like she sure as hell did air some grievances. And now, she's silenced forever.
Yes, I love it. So we have like that one is clearly a murder. So now like the town is on high alert, like somebody killed this woman. And then we should have somebody else like another murder happen. So like maybe I don't know, the butch. Oh, this would be fucking gruesome because we talked about the real bloody horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
What if like the next kill, like we show like there's police tape all around the butcher shop, and like we see like the detectives walking up, and like maybe we have the coroner like run out and just puke on the sidewalk, just and then have him go inside, and we see like this fat balding butcher, and like his face has just been put through the meat slicer. Ugh. So it's like like half of his face is gone, and it's just like chunks of skin and bone through the meat slicer. And it could be something like, there could be like a note, or maybe like scrawled on the chalkboard where there's like the daily specials. Mm-hmm. Could just be like, his feats of strength were sorely lacking. Like
Yeah, it'd be awesome. And like maybe you see in like the front window where it says like, Festivus sale, like half off of like choice cuts or something,
Yeah. Get your Festivus ham here.
Oh yeah, that's it. That's perfect. Yeah, the Festivus ham. Yeah, like the spiral cut Festivus ham, and then he puts his fucking head through like the spiral cutting attachment on like the meat slicer or something.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
I'm picturing how that would look. That's so fucking gross.
I don't know how they spiral cut hams, but I imagine it's some kind of attachment that he could like, we could like spin his head through.
Just like accordion sliced,
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So this is perfect. So of course, Mayor Dabney, he's gonna like cancel the festivities after all of that. It's clear from at least those two deaths that this is directly related to Festivus, and now 4, 5, 6 people have been killed either by quote unquote accident or just straight up murdered. So right. He's gonna he's gonna maybe it's like in Jaws where they call like a conference of like the town leaders and people. They're like, well, what do we do? Do we cancel the festival, or is it worth it? And like I don't know, something where we can get a little, maybe we can get a little bit of backstory here. We didn't get a lot of backstory in the first scene because Benson Stills was just killing people, but this would be a good opportunity for people to kind of throw out some backstory about why they're doing this, like why they celebrate Festivus. Just use some of the chatter. But then, do we want anybody to like see a murderer, like a mysterious figure in town?
Yeah, no, I think what we should do is we should have it be like, do that town meeting. I love that idea. So we have the town meeting where it's like the heads of like all that, like the owners of the businesses, and like basically the town board gets together and discusses like should we do this, and maybe Mayor Downs is like, look, we have too much money tied up in this. Like if we cancel this, like what are we gonna do? Like we've spent all this money. Like I don't know how this would work if it was something like they're expecting tourists to their small little, I don't know what they were expecting, but maybe it's like he doesn't want to cancel it yet, and like everyone's fighting with him, like there's clearly a killer on the loose, and he's like, we're not gonna let him ruin this town's spirit. Like all like he's hell bent on forcing it to happen, even though everyone else is like a little gun shy.
Yeah, I definitely think that the tourist angle makes a lot of sense, especially with a town so small. even a fictionalized version of the town, even if it was a little bit bigger than it is in real life with just a couple hundred people, like you start killing them and like who's left?
Right,
And so
exactly.
yeah, I think this little town in the middle of nowhere on like a highway, and I'm looking at a map and I was like, I think it's off of Highway 15 or US Route 15, and I don't know how busy that is, but it runs right through Las Vegas. So this could be. Oh yeah, actually shit.
Oh.
Salt Lake City to Las Vegas is right on Route 15. So this is a tourist trap town, or it potentially could be. That makes a lot of sense too for their motivations.
Okay, yeah. So what about this? What if when they resurrect it, like it originally started out as just like this little idea for the town, like ha ha ha, this is a fun little thing that our town's gonna do, and like everybody was enjoying it, and then Benson Stills ruined it for everybody, because he was like, "Fuck you, I'm gonna kill everybody." Um, so what if when Downs, maybe it's not 99, maybe they wait a year, maybe this new mayor is just like, you know what, I've got this great idea to bring us a bunch of tourist dollars, and
Hmm.
they make this big celebration of Festivus. Like you have a giant aluminum pole in the center of town, and like a big clock hanging from like the town hall building. Like you could have all this stuff. Like he sunk a ton of money, and they're advertising, and they're actually expecting tourists to show up. And maybe we could
Yep.
even see like buses, like people are coming off the bus and like checking into the local hotel, and you see Main Street is kind of bustling. He's like, we have too much money tied up into this. We can't stop it now. Like we have to keep this under wraps. So they're going along with it, but it's kind of like, this is not good. Like there's killer on the loose. Like, do we really want to continue? Um, so yeah, I like the tourist idea because that does bring in new people. It also creates more of a body to panic. If you have more
Yeah.
people and some crazy shit happens, you can create a panic. Um, so yeah, so the mayor forces the town to go along with it. They continue their celebration, and maybe actually on December 23rd, we could have like this culminate in some bad shit, like with the actual Festivus celebration.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. We kind of duplicate a little bit of what happened in that first year with Mayor O'Keefe. Yeah, the big celebration. You know, Mayor Dabney's up on the stage giving a speech like, "Everyone, we made it. It's December 23rd, and it's time for the Festivus for the rest of us. Yay!" Everyone screams, and then like, what if right at that moment he just yells "Festivus for the rest of us," and then the crowd screams, and then you hear a gunshot. But you can barely hear because everyone's screaming, and then the mayor, he just like goes to walk off the stage and he starts staggering, and then you see other people go, oh no, like in shock, and everyone's gasping, and he looks down and he has this huge gunshot wound, like blowing like half of his like thigh muscle off on one of his legs,
Oh
like
fuck.
like just a
Yeah.
fucking bloody like shotgun blast, like takes a big chunk of his leg off, and he's in shock, and he's just like stumbling away from the podium like, I gotta go sit down now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I like that. Like where it's such a shock to the system that he doesn't even notice it until he looks down and sees a chunk of his own body missing. Like, fuck, that's fucked up.
Yeah, because I don't know if we want to kill him, because I don't know where we're going with this. I don't want to just be like, kill the second mayor in a row. So I was like, let's start with something bloody first.
Actually, okay, just follow me on this. Is fucking gross. Instead of having like a chunk of his leg blown off, like have him do this thing where he did, just like you said, the whole Festivus for the rest of us, and he's like, and now I present to you, like, I don't know, it's a something band, whatever band they got to play, and he goes to walk off stage, and right before the music hits, you hear the gunshot, and like the mayor takes a step, and we see the bullet like go through his fucking knee, and
Oh shit.
his leg just like his leg goes the wrong way, and like
Ah.
he falls over, and it just cracks in half, like like fucking compound fracture, like bone sticking out, and he just hits the ground. He's like looking down at his knee, like, we could do that thing like where the everything gets muffled, like he's just hearing the ringing and looking
Mhm.
down, like grabbing at his own leg that's bent the wrong direction. And then we could hear people screaming all around and hear more gunshots, and
Oh,
then like
nice.
we focus in, and we see someone walking through the crowd holding a gun, and the person looks like Benson Stills. Like they
Oh,
have
okay.
his same outfit on, they look kind of like him, like it's a little in shadow, so we can't really tell what's going on. Like maybe they got a mask on or something, but like they're holding the gun, they're looking at the mayor, and maybe they give some fucking speech about how you should have learned the last time. This isn't something to be celebrated. Blah, 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 like his whole villain soliloquy, whatever. And then we have the cops gun him down.
Okay, yeah, and we're seeing all of this sort of through like half hazy, squinted eyes from like Mayor Dabney's point of view, because it's like, is he really seeing Benson Stills? Like, didn't Benson Stills just get like brutally killed the year, like 2 years before?
Right.
Like just kind of like put that question in the audience's mind, because it's like you never quite focus on Benson Stills, because Dabney can't focus through the pain, and
Right.
his ears are ringing. And when you mentioned like the gunshot to the knee, I don't know why, but my brain just went real sick, because I was like, we do it in slow motion, and we get the special effects team to make like a fake leg that's going to have a bunch of squibs blow up, and it's going to completely like tear open the pant leg, and you're going to see the fucking kneecap just flip like a coin off the front
Oh
of his leg,
God.
but in like slow motion, while the rest of it just folds backwards in the wrong direction, and there's just like
Oh.
blood going everywhere. But like if it were a 3D movie, you'd see that kneecap just like flip toward the camera.
Oh well, dude, we have to do it in 3D. Imagine the aluminum pole murder at the beginning in
God.
3D.
Hell yeah.
But no, I like this. Yeah, the mayor is the first one to go down. Like he gets shot, and we hear the muffled thing, we hear the screams, we hear gunshots, and maybe when he's looking around the crowd, we see random tourists falling over dead. Like people are getting shot. So people are panicking and scattering everywhere. And as the crowd is scattering, we see the shadowy figure in the center of town, like having the same, like maybe like Benson had a very distinct coat. Like he worked at the factory just outside of town, and he had like this company coat on type of thing. Like it's one of those big rough winter coats. But there's maybe this person, whoever this is, has what looks to be a wound in their gut, like a bloody wound in the center. So it's like, holy shit, is that really Benson Stills? And then you have the cops gun this person down, and they fall over seemingly dead, and the mayor passes out, and we cut 10 years later or something crazy like that was the last time Festivus was ever celebrated in New Harmony. Like,
oh, we should do a like fade out of like Benson getting gunned down by the cops, and then fade out as Mayor Downs passes out, because we were seeing from his point of view, so his vision goes black, and then you see like the newspaper like spin up out of the darkness onto the screen, and it's like massacre at small town Utah, and then like Festivus celebration gone wrong, town cancels holiday celebration for good, like no more Festivus in Harmony,
no
like,
Festivus for the rest of us.
Exactly. And then it's like, and then you see like Mayor Downs in critical condition, like funeral for Mayor Downs to be held on Friday, whole town expected in attendance. So you get all these updates as as like the newspapers are like piling up, and then you fade out again, and it's like 20 years later or 22 years later, like bring us up to modern day, and then we'll fade back out to see whatever, like our new people we're going to focus on, or hell, maybe there's another mayor. We go right back to to the new mayor. I don't know how we fade back in, but now it's like the modern day, and we're going to see what happened to Harmony all these years later.
Okay, all right. You know what? Just follow me for a second here, because this is going to be this is a slasher movie. You got to keep it short, sweet, to the point. So like a quick 90-minute type movie. So we already did the first celebration, and maybe let me backtrack a little. Maybe that wasn't the first time the town celebrated Festivus. Maybe they had been doing this a few years, and like it was kind of a beloved town tradition.
Okay.
And then Benson, fucked everything up, because it's like, the airing of grievances, all that. And then, there was the year they canceled, and they're like, oh, I don't know, we should bring it back. And then Downs is like, no, this town, we had it right. We had a great idea for this new holiday, but we're going to do it better. We're going to do it bigger. We're going to bring in tourists. We're going to have a giant aluminum pole. Like maybe we do all that. So I hate to backtrack on us, but,
sure,
this is
it works.
The writing process. So we have it be this big celebration, and then all that shit happens, and eventually Downs dies and all that. And now, yes, we fast forward to present day, and we see the mayor's office, and we see standing in front of the mayor's desk is like several, teenagers or whatever, like the local teenagers. And we have our new mayor, what the fuck should we call him? I know we wrote down a bunch of different names to pick from.
Well, yeah, one of the things I wrote down, because you kept mentioning mayors, and I scribbled down Mayor Goldie Wilson, who's the mayor from Back to the Future.
I forgot about that.
just because I was like, I'm just like writing down like random ideas while we were chatting. So yeah, like we could just call him, well, not Goldie Wilson, but let's just flip it around and Wilson
Wilson.
Gold.
There you go. I was gonna say because I had Wayne, I had Richard, I had a bunch of different names listed. Like, just pick a name. So yeah, okay, we'll go Wilson Gold. I like that. So yeah, we pan around to Mayor Wilson Gold and maybe have him be just like, okay, look, you kids were far too young when this happened. He's like, I was a kid myself, or I was a teenager myself when this
Mhm.
happened. He's like, but you don't understand the chaos that celebration caused. We can't bring it back. And then be like, oh, come on, this is like a little nowhere town. We need something to put us on the map. Our parents had the right idea all those years ago. And have them just like really be trying, because they're teens in a small town. They want to
Yep.
get out, or they want to make it big. Every kid wants that. So we have like, I don't know, we have like 5 or 6 teens, because it's a slasher movie. We're gonna have to have some fodder. So have like 5 or 6 teens. Let's just say 6 of them. Just make a nice even number, and we have them proposing to the new mayor. This is what we want to do. We want to bring back Festivus. This almost put our town on the map. We had all these tourists coming in all those years ago, and hell, maybe we could even play it up like no tragedy is going to keep our little town down. We can keep
Mhm.
going in the face of all that, and have the mayor just be like, no, I'm not intrigued. But then have like maybe one of the kids is like really, like really smart. Like let's say, I don't know, we'll have a Stella, like Stella from Seinfeld. So
Yeah.
we'll have Stella. Oh, dude, okay. Cool. What if her last name is Feldman because we did Mayor Feldman in the Pancake Face episode? What if she's
Oh.
the cousin of Mayor Feldman?
The mayor of Flapjack, Arkansas.
Dude, yes. Okay, yes. She is the cousin of Mayor Feldman from Flapjack, Arkansas. Maybe she could point out, like, look, Mayor Gold, I'm so sorry to keep disagreeing with you, but my cousin had a similar thing happen in their town, but they did their celebration and they made so much money in tourists. I put them on the map, and like, yeah, there was a horrible murder that took place, but everybody knows about Flapjack, Arkansas.
Yeah, exactly.
It put them on the map. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, she could say that. She can be like, yeah, they turned this tragedy into this big celebration, and it was brought in so much money to the town. And then Mayor Gold can be like, yeah, and then your cousin was brutally murdered. And she can be like, yeah, but like everyone knows about Flapjack, Arkansas now. It's like famous.
It's a serial killer true crime podcast destination.
Yes, exactly. It's just like, like we can have that here too. Like, we had those murders years ago, and like nobody knew who that guy was who killed people, like, 2 years afterwards, like whatever, like they never identified him or whatever. She kind of explains away what happened to, like, was that really Benson who came back for that second, time, or was it something else, or maybe they were like, the cops gunned him down and he like ran off into the desert and like we never found him, like, and
yeah,
that was
I like that.
and that was 15 years ago, and he's never coming back. Like, it's been long enough. People are ready to move on. They're ready to celebrate again. Like, there's no way that's going to happen again. It was just some, fluke accident that happened years ago.
Of course, it can't happen again.
Even though she just gave the example of her cousin's town where the same shit happened, where there was a murder years ago and then it happened again.
I kind of love that we've just connected 2 of our pieces together. Oh
Dude,
my god.
Man, we really need to do like a, the League of Extraordinary Raised by Rentals slashers or something.
Yes.
Because we've got like Jurgen the Yuletide Avenger. I'm sure
Breakfast
there's
or
more.
Breakfast or whatever his name is, the Pancake Face.
Pancake Face.
Well, then of course we got Mr. Six and Cotton Eye Joe, but those are more recent. But we've done a bunch of original killers.
Yeah, and then we've got like, the Trash Man, which is kind of like a demon or a spirit or something from the Hot Garbage episodes.
Yep.
And and we killed the guys from the Black Friday episode, but hell, like that could be like copycats or, disgruntled younger brothers or something,
Well, yeah, because like if you look at it this way, if you break it down, you have the Black Friday episode is almost like Stu and Billy from Scream, and then you have freaking Pancake Face that's almost kind of like Freddy Krueger. You got Jurgen, who's kind of a Jason Voorhees type, like behemoth.
Very much so.
You have, Mr. Six, who's kind of like Victor Crowley, a returning spirit. Dude, this could work. We could totally do some kind of like big raised by rentals conglomerate slasher episode.
Yeah, we probably could. Shit. Hell, we could even fucking put Pauly Shore in it. He killed a bunch of people.
Oh my God. I fucking love that. Like, Pauly Shore in our universe is a serial killer. And it's not a character. It's actually Pauly Shore.
Yeah, the real Pauly Shore. I mean, we left him in prison at the end of our Pauly Shore's Thanksgiving vacation episode.
Oh, dude. Okay, we're gonna have to talk for our next season of how we're gonna combine these, because I'm kind of loving this idea now.
I know. I'm already looking back at old episodes, going like, are we forgetting anybody? Like, who else was there? Like, we're gonna have to go back and look.
Oh, this is gonna be so. Listeners, if you're down, let us know. But yeah, so yeah, we do to your point. Like, the mayor is just like, yeah, but your cousin died, and everybody like, yeah, but it's like the number one true crime podcast destination in the country. Like, we could have that here. Like, just totally not giving a shit that her family she wants fame more than anything.
Absolutely.
So we kind of know where Stella Feldman is, and this
kind of ironic that her name Stella means star.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's funny. I just picked Stella because of Stella. That episode.
Okay, so real quick, we're on a roll here. So before we get off of this roll, let's just throw some names out real fast. So we have Stella Feldman in our group of like, teens/young people. You mentioned a couple of names. You mentioned Wayne and Richard, I think.
Yeah.
So let's do a Wayne. I'm just going to grab random last names. Kimball. Wayne Kimball.
Okay. Well, Richards. Let's have Richards be a last name. So let's see. We need another girl. We did a guy. We got a girl. Heidi. We haven't used Heidi.
All right.
Heidi Richards.
Heidi Richards. Okay, so Heidi and Stella and Wayne, and I'm also just kind of like looking at like random things on this Wikipedia page I had open from when I was looking at Festivus. Let's see. So Kevin McDonald was in this Seinfeld episode. I don't want to use like names of like the actors and stuff, because in this reality, Seinfeld is a TV show that they watched that inspired them.
Right.
But like just looking at some of the sort of like bit players or cameos. So Kevin McDonald from The Kids in the Hall. So let's have a character called Kevin. Okay. Not McDonald, but an O something. Instead of Mick, let's go with an O. O'Hurley. Okay, fine.
Yeah, because Mr. Putterman, Jay Putterman.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Okay, so we got, let's see, that's 2 guys, 2 girls. Let's just do one more guy, one more girl.
My dog is scratching at the door to my office right now. My dog, whose name is Hank. So let's go with that. Someone named Hank, just cause.
That works. I don't think we've used a Hank before.
I don't think so. My other dog's name is just Diesel, which doesn't really work as well for a human person.
Hank Diesel, dude.
Hank Diesel.
That is like the perfect jock name, but let's have him be like a scrawny little weakling.
Oh, yeah.
Like, his last name is Diesel, and he's just like this little twerp.
Hank Dees. Oh, man, that's awesome.
Hank Dees nuts.
When we adopted Diesel, we tried to change his name, but he was already like 7 years old, and he was like really settled into the name. But I just didn't like it that much. And we're like, we need something that sounds kind of similar, but not like completely weird. So if you've seen him, he's an American bully, and he looks exactly like Tiny Lister. So we were gonna call him Debo, like from Friday.
Rest in peace, Debo.
I know, right? Oh god. And like Diesel and Debo, I thought sounded similar enough, but he wasn't having it, so he only answers to his to Diesel, even though I'm like, yeah, it's an okay name. It works because he's definitely a fucking like tank for sure.
Right. I just think the name Hank Diesel is fucking hilarious.
Hank Diesel.
Hank Diesel. Let's see. We need one more. We need a girl. I'm so bad with girl names. Like, I always fall back on like Sarah and Lisa and Jessica.
Yeah. Okay, so let me think. Again, looking at just like random people on the Wikipedia page. You know what? I used to be friends with a girl named Mackenzie. That got kind of popular for a
Yeah.
while there, right?
I actually like that name, Mackenzie. Okay. Mackenzie Dixon. 'Cause
Dixon.
I used to work with a Dixon, so
There you go.
we'll go Mackenzie Dixon. Okay, there we go. So we got Hank Diesel, Wayne Kimball, Kevin O'Hurley, Stella Feldman, cousin of Mayor Feldman of Flapjack, Arkansas, uh, Heidi Richards, and Mackenzie Dixon. Okay,
Okay,
that
that works.
works. And then Mayor, what did we call him? Wilson Gold.
Wilson Gold.
Mayor Wilson Gold, the third mayor of this sleepy little town, because they keep losing mayors.
Exactly. Oh, it's a dangerous position to be in.
Clearly. And then the original murderer, Benson Stills, and his wife, Tracy Stills, who was fucking the mayor, which was Ned O'Keefe. Okay, just making sure I got all my notes in a row. Okay.
Okay, so the kids are... I'm going to guess that they can't convince Mayor Gold to go along with it. He's like, nope, not having it. Sorry, kids. Like, the ship has passed on being Festivus Town. It worked for... Yeah, again, since these are supposed to be like teens or young adults who like were little kids at the time, yeah, let's go with it's 2020, not 2020 because like it's in the middle of like the pandemic, but 2023, 2024 minus, let's say 15 years. That puts us in the early 2000s. So yeah, they don't have to necessarily have started this immediately after the episode aired because Seinfeld was popular for a long time, but they could definitely have, the town could definitely have celebrated Festivus for 5 or 6 years easy before it was canceled.
Right, and because these teens are going to be like high school age, so like 16, 17, 18, like that range. So yeah, I mean, it could have gone for like, Seinfeld, like you said, was popular for a few years. They decided to do this. They have the tragedy struck, or they have a couple years of good Festivus, and then the tragedy struck. Then when they try to bring it back the following year, like, we're not going to let that one tragedy keep this town's, Festivus down. And then of course, more tragedy strikes. So they're like, fuck it, you can keep it down. So, and now, yeah, the teens are trying to bring it back. But what if one of these, like maybe Hank, because he's traditionally the that name sounds like a big fucking buff dude, but we want to make him a little weakling. Maybe he's like the scrawny little nerd, and maybe he's like crunching numbers, and he shows the mayor. He's like, well, we put together this plan. When we were thinking about like how we would bring in tourists, he's like, from my calculations, this town stands to make, and he's got some stupidly long number written on a piece of paper. He's like, this much money with tourist dollars, and have him be like, well, now kids, you made me reconsider this. Like, kind of what, like, just holy shit, that's, yeah, we need that kind of tourist dollars. So we got him, thinking like, maybe we should do this. I don't know. Like, so now they got the town thinking about Festivus again. So that's, now that Festivus is back on the table, maybe not celebrated yet, but maybe weird things are going to start happening.
Yeah, let's do it this way. Mayor Wilson is on the fence thinking maybe like let me noodle it, let me sleep on it. The kids are getting excited, and now they think, okay, we just gotta push them over the edge to get on our side. So now we can have two things start happening. One, let's have the kids get together, like maybe they convene around, I don't know, a campfire on the edge of town somewhere where they have like a little hideout, and they're going to start talking about their plans, and their plans are that they're just going to start celebrating Festivus. Like, they're just going to start doing it as if the festival was never canceled. Like, they're going to, like I bet you I could find, the old aluminum pole in like storage, or like one of the kids has, access to it. Like, oh yeah, that's in the back of, my old dad's like scrap shop. They never wanted to melt it down just in case. And I could probably, we'll go sneak it out of there. And we'll put it up in the middle of town in the middle of the night. And yeah. And like, we'll buy a bunch of clocks and put them in bags, and like, we'll hang them on people's front doors. Like, they're going to do this like guerrilla campaign to just start celebrating it and kind of get everybody on board, almost out of like nostalgia. Like, if someone were to find like a clock in a bag, you'd be like, oh, I remember those days. That was fun. And, and that way they're going to get the whole town on their side to kind of push Wilson over the edge into agreeing with them to do it. But then the other storyline that's going to start happening is while they're doing all of this, they don't realize that, people are starting to get hurt, almost like in their wake,
Right. Well, it is almost like a reverse Grinch. Like in the dark of night, they're adding decorations instead of stealing them.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it. So yeah, maybe it's something like that where they go and maybe this isn't the perfect example. This is just off the top of my head, but yeah, maybe they go and hang up some like clocks in a bag on like people's like front porches, and then they go off and someone comes out of their house and grabs one. They're like, oh, I remember the Festivus days. Like it sure was a shame what happened at the end there, but it was so much fun. This town just doesn't have enough. Like, right, honey? Like someone talking to their husband, like like, yeah, you're right. You know what? Like, let's go down to the hardware store and get us an aluminum pole, and we'll put it right in our front window. And you know what? We'll buy some for the kids and take them to their house too. Like they're grown kids, right, to their houses.
Right.
So they go down to the hardware store and they get like 5 or 6 like big aluminum poles. And they put them in the back of their station wagon, and the dad says something about, oh, well, they won't fit all the way in the back here, so just be careful, honey. I'm going to lean them over the top of the back seat. The horror fan brain is just going to like Final Destination places with that, and then they head off down the road with these like metal poles sticking over the top of the back seat, and then while they're cruising home, having a little talk, some figure that is wearing the same coat as Benson Stills. You don't see his head. You just see him, from like the knees up, whatever. He just like confidently like walks right into the middle of the street and stops, and then like the dad like slams on the brakes to his station wagon, and those fucking poles just fly forward and go right through the backs of their heads, and
Yes. And again,
you see their faces explode from the front.
if this is going to be in 3D, we're going to get that front view, and we'll see the poles hit the back of their head, and then, like you said, the explosion, like out at the screen of like, yes. Like teeth and eyeballs and shit.
I love the 3D element. Yeah, just oh man, just imagine that you start skirt, and then like in a 3D theater, you just see these metal poles like fly out at you and like splatter right through the middle of like some old couple's head.
Oh, I love it. I fucking love it. So yeah, so the kids are out there trying to like set up this like stealth Festivus campaign, and the killings have begun. With Benson, like, okay, so we want it to be Benson, but like, do we want to have him wearing like some kind of mask or something? Like, because I mean, people are gonna recognize this guy who was like, notoriously murdered their mayor and then was impaled on a Festivus pole. Like, yeah. So maybe either like he's got like maybe Benson had a bunch of long hair, so like the hair could be like shaggy and hanging down in front of his face, so we can't really see, like his face is obscured.
Okay, so an idea is formulating, so just go with me on this one. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of the face being obscured with the long hair. We can show that in the original appearances, and that can even be part of the reason why in that second year when he comes back and kills Mayor Downs, like, again, we only kind of see him through Downs' perspective, but we don't recognize him right away because his hair is all in front of his face. So what if this time we're not going to see his head right away, but when we do see the killer, the big reveal should be he's got like one of those clock in a bag bags pulled up over his head, like the dude from The Town That Dreaded, was it Sunset, right?
Sundown, yes.
Sundown,
yeah. So right?
Like
the
a burlap type.
Oh my God, the Texarkana Phantom. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Texarkana Phantom. Yeah, so he's got the bag pulled down, but of course, like the drawing on it is like upside down, so it'll look kind of like silly, and he's got like eye holes like roughly slashed out of it. So like how does he even see out of that thing? Because it's not even like he cut the eye holes correctly. He just like slashed the front of the bag with a knife and put it over his head.
Oh, I love it. And we can see like maybe like the hair, like maybe the bag is kind of like just slashed up in general. So like we see some like hair straggling out of it, and like the one eye hole, like you said, he just slashed it. So it's just like a piece of burlap is kind of hanging down, like doubled over on his face, but we just see one eye and like part of his face like peeking out through the hole.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Yeah, and then that way it's like you don't really see what his face looks like. Maybe it's something gross, maybe it's I don't know, maybe he's been dead this whole time and he came back from the dead, he's like rotten, or maybe something happened to his face when he got shot by all those cops in that second Festivus where he strolled into town when Mayor Downs got shot, whatever. Like we can kind of figure out what his face is going to look like, but let's not reveal it right away when we do see him. Plus it's kind of distinctive, like you said. You got to give every killer like a mask or something like distinctive to their look. We gave Pancake Face a fucking pancake on his face. Like
Jurgen has the horse head skull. So
yeah. And so Benson Stills can have this like upside down like cartoon clock on a bag.
Love it. And again, like keep in mind his outfit, like he had he was the original when Benson died, he was impaled. So when we see him again with the second mayor, when Downs is killed, we see the bloody, like, it looks like a big bloody wound on the stomach of this person, and then they're shot a bunch of times by the cops as they run off. So, like they get wounded a couple of times. So maybe like the person that walks out into the middle of the road, their coat is all like tattered and like looks like it's riddled with bullet holes.
Nice. Yeah.
So they walk out there and just like, and that's the reason that, like you said, that they crash. They skirt, then the poles come through their head and boom. So, and at this point, like, the kids know nothing about this. This just happened, and again, in the dark of night. It's winter time. It's going to be dark. So maybe it's like 7 p.m. because they go to the hardware store. But like, yeah, so the kids are out still doing their own thing, completely unaware that accidents are happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So like they're just completely oblivious to it. Yeah, and I think just for a straightforward like slasher, like splatter gore movie, like we did all of our backstory, and now quite frankly we could just have some fun with some kills. And
right.
I'm just as a screenwriter, let me fast forward here for a second just to say where I think we need to end up at a place where we can have at least two of our characters confront the killer, and we need to do something with the mayor. I don't want to kill him right away like we hurt the first two. Like let him survive a little bit longer. So I think that the mayor and at least two of our characters need to get to the end.
Right.
And the reason I'm thinking that is because, going back and thinking about the Festivus celebrations, the traditions, we got to get some airing of grievances. We got to get a meal in there somewhere, a Festivus dinner, and we got to get feats of strength. So you need at least a couple people to wrestle, or fight or something. So
yeah.
I'm just saying, like, we can kind of set a couple of pieces of aside on the game board here, and then just go nuts for the next like 20 or 30 minutes of our screen time and have some fun, like brutally murdering the rest of them.
Right. And so like, keep in mind, like the way this is kicking off is because the kids are forcing the celebration. Like the mayor was a little like that. They convinced the mayor to think about it. So now it's like the town might be celebrating, but now they're doing the stealth decorating. So they're running around like leaving clocks on people's houses and all that shit. So they're reigniting the holiday. So yeah, so maybe like, they're, because if it's all going to happen in this one night, because again, if we have this horrible accident happen with aluminum poles, I'm pretty sure the mayor's going to be like, no, we're not doing Festivus. Fuck that. So we want to have it happen all in one night. So maybe it's not like quite a Festivus meal, but what if it's like, we see a family sitting down to like a big ham, dinner or something like that. And maybe it could be something as simple as like, the husband bitching to the wife, like, I've always thought you made a dry ham, Margaret.
Just like Bruce McCullough from The Kids in the Hall.
Yes.
It's so salty.
Yes, exactly. Like just complaining about, dinner, and have her start complaining about like, maybe his drinking or something. So they're technically airing grievances over this ham.
Nice.
But we can see that, and the next time we see that, maybe they're both just like dead in their chairs. Like we don't know what happened to them, just somehow they got murdered. I don't know. I don't know if we want to do that, but just I want to kind of speed through it.
I think it's great because they were celebrating the holiday. And so for whatever reason, that makes them a target. We haven't quite nailed down like motivations exactly yet. I mean, we know Benson Stills was pissed at his wife and like the first mayor, why he hates Festivus or is connected to Festivus. We haven't quite explained it yet, but whatever. Like, I definitely think, we have to have a couple of bloody kills. I like this idea, just having them argue. They're like airing the grievances, like you said. And then we just see like a dark figure with that silhouette of like the bag with some hair sticking out of the holes, in the window, like in the bushes. And then, the next thing you know, we could either have the police come and find the bodies, or we could just skip ahead. Either way, whichever one makes sense from a storytelling perspective. And then you see the same family all around the table. And let's have the dad like, imagine someone reached into your mouth, grabbed your bottom jaw, ripped it down, and then shoved an entire ham into the cavity. That's what happens to the dad.
So his jaw, like his jaw and his neck are like torn open, so it's like a big
Yes.
old flap, like a hinged jaw on a nutcracker, and you
Yes.
just got a fucking ham wedged in the hole, and he's just like, and of course he's got to be like a big fat dude, so like just big fat guy with his throat and neck ripped open, he's like, "Rah!" and he's got a ham sticking out of it.
Yes, exactly. And like, I don't know if there's any kids there. It might be funny if there weren't any kids, because if you saw the husband and then the wife just has to be like squished, like Jason Voorhees grabbed her skull and just squished it together. Because what I'm thinking is like, when and if the cops, again, I don't know if it makes sense from our story perspective, but if the cops get there, I'm just picturing some like, grizzled detective with a cigar going like, it's the Festivus dinner and the feats of strength.
Yes. Yes. So yeah, so we have, I like the idea of doing the thing where you have the couple arguing over the dinner, and then you see the shadow of Benson like outside the window or something, like watching them, and then we cut back to the police, they're investigating, and like you said, it's the Festivus dinner and the feats of strength. Like, I like that. Like, just have this grizzled old detective, and have like, some new guy being like, "What are you talking about, Sarge?" Just like, maybe he's the new guy in town. He's the young buck that doesn't know the backstory. And then we could have like some other things, like maybe I'm trying to think of some other funky kill that we could have that involves Festivus, because there's not a lot of rules for Festivus, because we want to have like a few things happen. So like the next day, maybe the kids could be at school and be like, "Oh my God, did you hear what happened to like old Mr. Witherby and his wife?"
Yeah.
I keep using the name Witherby, but
Oh, we can have somebody who is discovered, they were decorating their Christmas tree, and then their body is discovered where they were choked with tinsel or had tinsel shoved in their eyes or something, because tinsel's distracting.
Yes. They were oh, wait, hold up, I'm trying to think of like how we can have them decorating something but still have it tie into Festivus, because if they're decorating the Christmas tree, that's going to be more, they're not celebrating Festivus.
Oh yeah. Well, that's fine. They can just be I mean, I don't want to, it can't be the pole. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we also don't necessarily have to explain every single kill. Like we can kind of go through a couple of them pretty quickly. We can just, for whatever reason, they find some guy who's got like, tinsel shoved in his eyeballs or something, and then again, not every death has to necessarily be related, but we could just go for the splatterfest of just, oh, this guy, he happened to be holding the clock in a bag, and he got ripped in half, like, somebody tied a horse to either arm or whatever. Like, again it's like a feat of strength, but we're kind of limited in the themes, so I'm not opposed to just random murders, or we just stop with the couple that we did, especially if you said, hey, we're going to skip to the next day and have the kids talking about it at school. Like, we don't have to like blow our entire load on having, a whole shitload of kills that first night.
Okay, wait, follow me here for a second. So the first kill, we have the aluminum poles. Like they get imploded, like their faces get imploded with the aluminum poles. The second one, what if it's not? We don't do the feats of strength in the second one. What if we do the ham? He's like, "I always thought your ham was too salty, Margaret." Like that whole thing, and then have them, like they're both. Maybe both of their faces are ripped open and like a chunk of ham is just rammed down it, and then we have like a third thing where it's like maybe there's like a couple of guys at a bar having some drinks, they get into an argument, they get into a wrestling match, and then we see the freaking shadow of Benson, and then again we see the cops, and like these guys are just fucking mangled, like just broken in like every possible direction. And then the next day when we have the kids at school, we have them talking about like, "Oh my God, did you hear about what happened last night?" And like, they're talking about the different murders, and we can have one of them be like, "Is it just me, or is this all related to Festivus? Like the aluminum pole, the Festivus dinner, the feats of strength, guys, this ain't a coincidence." Like, we could have something like that.
Absolutely. So let the kids figure it out.
Yeah. So okay, so we do, so yeah, let's do that. So we have the three, quote unquote accidents, or like three unexplainable deaths kind of happen. Like the one is kind of explainable with the poles, but the other two is like, what the fuck happened here? So yeah, have the kids kind of freak out about it and try to figure out what's going on. And now, because they've resurrected the idea of the holiday, maybe the murders begin. So we can have the stuff like where, the owner of the bagel shop gets boiled alive by a giant vat of boiling water, and there, maybe there's a note on the bagel of the day board. It's like, once again, like maybe his feats of strength were lacking, kind of like the butcher and the original murders, and have them be like, oh my God, no way, like it's happening all over again. Like, this is what our parents warned us about.
Exactly right. Didn't the mayor fucking tell you, dumbasses?
Exactly. It's like, oh no, like we've somehow resurrected the idea of death on Festivus.
Okay, so do we then have like the next night? Is it like maybe they're like we need to go like take everything down. Maybe they can try to reverse it, like to go take all the decorations down, like whatever happened. I don't know, just an excuse to kind of get them out and about town because, like I said before, we only need a couple of people to survive to the end. And
Right.
let's just either figure out who's going to die or who's going to survive, and let's pick a couple of them off. And now it's not even because they're like, trying to take the decorations down. It's because, well, they put them up the day before, so they're all targets no matter what. And
Right.
we can, because they're the ones running around town while everybody else is maybe in a panic, locked in at home. Like maybe the mayor, told the whole town, hey, we're on lockdown, there's a killer out there, but the teens are like, no, we got to go like undo what we did. They all sneak out to their deaths.
Right. So yeah, so like the very next day, when they figure all this out, you know what? Oh, hold up. I got okay, I like this. So the kids put it together. Like, they hear about all the, these accidents and all that. They're freaking out. And maybe they go to the mayor and they're just like, we made a mistake, we made a horrible mistake. And have like the mayor be like, but hey, that tourist idea of yours, like, yeah, it sucks that we had a couple of accidents happen, but maybe he's still convinced that they should do it. So now it's
Mhm.
like the holiday isn't dead. They can't kill it yet because the mayor wants to sell, or maybe
Yeah.
like he already got the word out. Maybe it's a couple days later because maybe they didn't. They're teenagers. How many teenagers pay attention to the news?
Right.
You know, so it's one of those things where it's like a few days later they find out about all the stuff. They start to put the pieces together, or maybe it's as simple as like these happen. Maybe not all in one night. Like maybe the accident and like the bar brawl or something, and then like the next night the dinner happens, and they're like, guys, are you noticing a pattern here?
Yep.
Like eventually they put it together leading up toward Festivus. They try to convince the mayor that they need to cancel this, and the mayor is just like, fuck you, there's money on the table.
Right.
So now they try to do their stealth campaign of taking everything down now that the mayor's got the ball rolling. So
Perfect.
yeah, we could still have the killer, taking people out in weird ways. Like, we could have like a car accident or, just random shit where we get a little bit more gore on the table and the kids are kind of freaking out. Like maybe one of the kids' parents dies in a car accident or it's just something dark. Like,
Right.
I don't know. I know I'm kind of speeding through things here.
Okay, so I think we're kind of talking around in circles and getting ourselves confused. And I think we both know what we want to do, but the timeline is getting confusing. So
Yes.
I'm just going to say right here that I'm totally fine with keeping this a very simple, straightforward, like killer slasher type of movie. We really go heavy on the gore, and like that's the attraction. We don't need anything to be super complicated. We don't need to get too wrapped up in like some kind of explanation for how Benson Stills is back or any of that. Let's just like back up for a second, make the timeline clear for this like modern day massacre, and then we can just have some fun with the kills.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we have so far is our group of kids, our six main characters. They wanted to resurrect Festivus to bring some kind of excitement to this little town, and because Stella had this connection to her cousin who put his little town on the map because of the pancake face murders, and she kind of wants to repeat that. They try to convince the mayor to bring back Festivus. Mayor Gold is like, no way, we can't do that. It was too dangerous. We canceled it for a reason. So then our kids just start decorating town for Festivus anyway. Like they just go ahead with their plan, and then eventually townsfolk kind of go along with it. Like the older couple who just decide to go to the hardware store and like pick up an aluminum pole and maybe a couple for their family, and then they get their heads impaled with aluminum poles from the back seat, Final Destination style.
Yep.
So what what I think what needs to happen here is we need to have a couple of days where the kids and the townsfolk are all excited, but then there's these sort of like suspicious accidents that are happening. People are dying, but they could be explained away, like a little gory for an accident, a little unexpected or unlikely, but it could happen. And
Right.
then there's this turning point where the kids should realize what's going on, that it's more than just accidents, that somebody is actually hurting people. They want to go to the mayor and convince him, like, okay, you need to pull the plug on this. But now the tables have turned because the mayor's really into it. He's seeing the tourist dollars. People are booking hotel rooms and the town looks great. The whole town's into it. And he's all like, hey, you convinced me. So the tables are kind of turned. And then we need to have the kids then try to stop the holiday. But at this point, it's like Festivus Eve and it's almost too late, where maybe now Benson Stills is like ramping up the deaths, like less accidental and more just bloody and intentional. But like I said, it's kind of like the train is off the tracks and it's too late, but the kids are going to try to stop him anyway. So
Right.
we basically just do this over a couple of day period instead of trying to like have all of these murders happen at the same time as the kids are going around trying to convince the town, and then here comes Benson Stills like right behind them. It needs to sort of be like they invite him to town by resurrecting the holiday. He comes out of the wilderness or darkness or wherever he comes from, and he's
Mhm.
around for a couple of days before people are kind of on to him. So anyway, I know that was a lot, but what do you think? I think we can refocus ourselves.
Yeah. Okay. So let's say like having talked about the station wagon kill, like we already got that kill. That accident happened. So like the next day, everyone's like, "Oh my God, did you hear what happened to I don't know, just some random townsfolk, Mr. Smith and his wife." Um, we'll have the kids talk about that. Like that's awful, but they're still decorating for Festivus. They're still putting up, little Festivus clocks, and like maybe they're drawing little cards out that's like air your grievances in the town square, that type of thing. Like they're still setting up and just talking about how horrible it is. I think we should have a couple more accidental deaths. So like maybe on day 2, the on at town hall, they would be putting up like the big clock. So
There
maybe
you go.
the mayor is Wilson Gold is like, what, fuck yeah, he sees, like you said, he sees the dollar signs from the tourist dollars. He's like, let's go all out, just like we did, 20 years ago. And they're hanging up the big clock. And maybe we have one of the construction workers fall off the scaffolding, just like, he's hooking up the clock. And he's like, he gets like maybe zapped by a loose electrical wire or something. Like, ah, it falls off and fucking splatters on the steps of the town hall. Just like, and again, we're in a 3D movie. So like, he's going to hit and like, this gush of blood, like he is filled with like a gore filled gusher. Like he just hits and just red liquid flies everywhere. There's like brain matter and shit hitting the screen because 3D.
Yeah,
So, so we can take
absolutely.
this simple little accident and make it overly gory. Um, but yeah, so like that's obviously going to be a horrible thing. Maybe we could have like there's a tourist bus coming into town because like well, I don't know if we'd have it that quick because they're maybe they wouldn't get tourist dollars that fast. Maybe just neighboring towns or stuff. I don't know how,
Yeah,
because it'd be
it could just
pretty
be people
quick.
head. Yeah, it could be people heading into town from like other places in Utah, because if we're talking like a couple of days before the festival, and whether we have actually heard the mayor say this dialogue in our fictional movie yet, like again, he's gonna kind of be on board because he's like seeing the money rolling in, like people are booking up the hotel rooms and stuff. So yeah, there should be at least some people who are heading into town, or it could be vendors. Like imagine someone driving in like in a Econoline van that has like I don't know, like Pete's puppets on the side of it or something, right? I mean, these
Right.
guys who come in for like the street festival and like their vendors and their craftsmen, and we could have people who are coming in early to set up, and these are the people who are starting to have these like crazy accidents in addition to the townsfolk.
Right. Okay. So yeah. So we have like just to speed through it. We got a couple like car accidents, just some little shit happening around town, but all of the accidents have involved Festivus in some way. So just for the sake of time, we should have like maybe our kids are talking about it while they're setting up. Like it's kind of odd, like this tiny little town, like we have maybe one accident a year. We've had 3 accidents in the last 3 days ever since we
Hmm.
started set. Or maybe they could be like, we've had 3 accidents in 3 days, and have one of them be like, yeah, ever since we started setting up for Festivus, and get like the cheesy music cue, like the dun dun, just because again, this is not a serious movie.
Yeah. This is like the extent of like the parlor scene that we're gonna get. Like, you think that's connected?
Yeah, and then have another music dun dun, and then maybe even have, before we cut away, have Stella Feldman be like, "Who's doing that?" And then just cut away to the next scene.
Yeah. Well, and let's have one of our people, like, I don't know, Kevin, just a random person. Maybe like his dad is one of these guys. Like, he's an electrician. He's like setting up the stage or something. So it kind of gives them a reason to be over there. Like he has to work for his dad, like running cables and stuff, and the other guys are kind of hanging out. But it gives us an excuse to have our kids like out in the festival area. I don't want everyone just like sitting around in like someone's fucking basement, like, trying to figure out what's going on. Like, we need them in the middle of the action around other people. Maybe they can see one of the accidents and be like, what the fuck, man? That just happened right in front of me. There's no way that guy's head just popped like a pimple like that. Like something.
Perfect. I like where you're going with this. So, okay, yeah. So, like, originally I pictured them setting up for Festivus. So the town, like, they volunteered because it was their idea. So they're helping set up the town square. And to your point, Kevin's dad, so Kevin O'Hurley, his dad is one of the electricians. He's setting up like the lights and the speakers and all that. And like, he's got help with him. Like, there's a bunch of guys doing that. And the kids are just, maybe they're setting up like the, like the skirting around the stage. Like, they're putting that on and, putting up little banners and stuff. Just, non-dangerous things. But like, while they're discussing this, dude, this is perfect. Okay. So when they're setting up the speakers and they make the first like joke about like, it's kind of weird how they all been around Festivus. We could hear like the dun dun thing come across the speakers, like check 1, check 2, like, and then have it happen again, like check 1, check 2, and be like, who's doing that? Like, we could actually play it into the scene, but have one of the electricians, like, they're about to check the third set of speakers and something goes wrong. He gets electrocuted and his fucking head pops and spatters the kids with his own blood. And they're just like, Jesus Christ, like, did that guy's head just explode?
Yes. Oh, and we got to have that pop edited so fast that like the audience is going to jump, because it's going to be just like pop, out of nowhere, with like a quick edit to the kids just sprayed in brains.
It's like the Dawn of the Dead shotgun head scene where the dude boots the door open and just pops that guy's head with a blast. So it's like instantaneous, like sploosh. There's just gore everywhere.
And then like people can start panicking and running over, and you see this other guy who was like, again, setting up speakers, and they're like messing with the sound. You hear like check, and then you hear this big loud squeal and screech through the speaker, and one of the other guys who's like watching in like stunned shock at like the headless electrician fall, he's not really paying attention to what he's doing, and like there's this big squeak right in his ear, and he like grabs both of his ears, but he's on top of a ladder, and then he tumbles over forward. His leg gets caught in the ladder. His leg like shatters in the middle of the calf at the top of this ladder. He goes head down right onto the concrete, and then he fucking squishes. The ladder flips over and knocks like 3 other dudes in the face, and like takes out one guy's eyeball, one guy's jaw, and like one guy's ear, like a see no evil, hear no evil, say no evil kind of a thing. Just for fun, just for fun.
Oh my God, I love it. But yes, a total, all this fucking like just crazy gore. And then we do like the slow down moment, right? Where we have like the kids are covered in gore. Maybe we have like freaking Mackenzie. She's looking down at her hands, she's covered in blood, she's looking at her friends, and you hear like the screams, everything's muffled. Like that almost like first person view where they're looking around. Like, picture like I know this is bad, Saving Private Ryan, the Normandy Beach scene where like everything is quiet and you hear the explosions, but same thing, you hear screams in the background, maybe you hear sirens coming, and as they're looking around, we see someone who looks like Benson Stills standing like just outside of the park behind the trees, and then he like walks behind one of the Festivus poles and disappears. So, like fucking Looney Tunes, like just vanished, So of course no one's gonna fucking believe this, and she's gonna be like, I swear to God, I saw Benson Stills. They're like, you experienced a very traumatic event, ma'am. Like,
like the EMTs and the police are talking to her, like, all these kids are like covered in blood, but now of course it's like Festivus Eve at this point, and again, this is where the deaths are going to ramp up. This is where we're going to get
Oh
like
yeah.
the couple at dinner where like the guy had like the ham rammed down his throat
Yes.
and like the lady's head was squished or whatever. Like it's like somehow Benson is just like getting all over town. Like he's able to kill all kinds of people like really fast, and every time the cops respond to one call, they're like, there's another call and there's another call, and like they're so stretched thin that even like regular townsfolk are maybe like taking up like shotguns in the street, like what are we fighting,
Yeah.
like where is he, like what's going. But because it's like supernatural, it's like the deaths just keep happening, and maybe there's like an accidental death where some neighbor, he hears his like wife scream as she dies, he turns to go shoot Benson, who just like steps into a shadow or whatever and disappears. He fires a shotgun and like blows his like neighbor's chest wide open or something.
Dude, I got it. I fucking got it. Okay. So yeah, so 100%, like that big thing happened at the town square. Everyone's freaking out about it. We have Mackenzie talking about, I swear to God, I saw Benson Sills. We're like, ma'am, you suffered a traumatic event. So meanwhile, on the other side of town, like, yeah, we have the couple get killed, like have their dinner death. And then we cut over to the bar and we have like a bar fight, but it like the feats of strength that go horribly wrong, and everyone's just like bent and broken and stuff. So we cut to the EMTs, or the dispatch. We cut to dispatch, and the phone lines are lighting up all over town. At whatever bar, the O'Keefe bar, and old Mr. Witherby and his wife, and there's the shit at the town square, and they're like, what the hell is going on? So yeah, no, so now people are panicking because all around, like, there's just deaths happening. But to your point, you have the townsfolk being like, well, I'm not going to get caught with my pants down, Margaret, and loading up a shotgun type of thing. And then have like the wife scream. Maybe it's something as simple as like, somebody knocked over their garbage can. She's like, oh, damn it. And he's just like, what the hell? And goes and just fucking shoots and blows his neighbor's head off. Just like, oh, no. But his neighbor was hanging up a Festivus clock on his front door.
Yeah, awesome. And then like the clock like falls down, hits the guy on the toe. We have a comical moment where the guy whose head was just blown off is like, grabbing his toe like he's in cartoon pain, with like just out of like sheer instinct, And then the clock like rolls down the front porch steps and like rolls right into some guy who's like riding his bicycle, like trips the bicycle, which flips over forward into like one of those electrical like converter boxes on like the corner, and he like smashes into it with his bike. The power goes crazy, like the power lines are like going wild. One of them snaps. You have a live power line that flips down right into like some big construction vehicle. The whole vehicle gets electrocuted. There's like 4 guys who were like on their lunch break who are just fried like immediately, and like it's just this whole chaotic moment. And then you zoom out and you see like Stella Feldman still with like some EMT's coat on, who's like walking home just like, oh my God, like...
Yes. So like, oh my God. So we do have to kill one of the kids. And, you mentioned Stella. So here's the thing. Like, we're going to be, before we do this giant, like, mousetrap scene, like this Rube Goldberg death train, we'll have like we'll do the quiet moment with the medics at the town square, like taking care of the kids and taking care of everyone that was there. And then be like, you sure you're okay to go home? And he'll be like, yeah, I just want to go home. I just want to go home. And like, maybe the other kids are like, all right, well, we'll see you tomorrow, Stella. And she's walking home with the coat around her shoulders. And she's just like, maybe, yes, let's not have it be Mackenzie that saw him. Let's have it be Stella who saw Benson. So let me just retroactively change that. So have her being like, yeah, it wasn't real. It wasn't real. I swear it wasn't real. And then as she's walking, she hears the scream, looks over in time to see the guy shoot the neighbor. So we see it from her point of view. He shoots the neighbor. We have the jumping and holding his foot because the clock hit it, while blood is just like, blah, 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 like spewing out of his fucking throat hole. And then, so the clock rolls, like you said, trips the bicycle guy. So she's watching all of this chaos play out before her. Like, what the fuck? Like, sparks are flying, people are dying left and right. And then she just looks over and sees Benson like standing across the street watching, and she's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And he just raises his gun and shoots her in the face.
Yeah, just real casual.
And you just see, and again, we're seeing it from her point of view. So we see the gun raised, boom, and then we pan the camera back through her open head wound as she falls over, like, blah, 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 and like have her tongue just lolling out because he blew out her eyes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and like the eyeball or the tongue or something has to like she like leans into the camera in the 3D vision before she falls over, and you see the eyeball or tongue or whatever like fall, like almost like falling on the audience, and
Yes.
like all this stuff is like 3D, like the electrical line that came down like swings at the camera, like the clocks coming down the stairs like swings at the camera from like this real low Dutch angle. Even when Benson like pulls the trigger, it's like bam right at the camera, before you cut away to Stella,
Yes.
and then bam, her head pops and the body parts go flying, and like the audience shouldn't have a moment to rest here for like a solid minute of like death, 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 all flying at the camera.
And I love that it's totally like a Rube Goldberg thing, because it's like this death leads to this death leads to this death leads to this death. And it's just like a fucking death train.
Yes.
And this would be like one of those moments like that they would talk about in like top 100 lists, where it would be like the death train from the Festivus, or the Town That Dreaded Festivus. And it would just be
Yes.
like 8 people dying in like a minute.
Oh, okay, hang on. So Stella Feldman definitely has to die, I think, just out of like ironic karma, because she was the one who was like, oh, my cousin, he put his town on the map, and then of course he was brutally murdered by Pancake Face.
Yes.
What if I can't imagine that they would just let her like walk home after she had this like other traumatic event before this traumatic event. So like would she just walk home alone? I think one of the other people, and I don't know that it really matters, and honestly, like we kind of went through our kids like Hank and Kevin and Wayne. Honestly, I'm at the point where this is the type of horror movie where they're all just sort of interchangeable, like, teenage fodder. So one of them, let's say it's Wayne, is like walking with her home. He sees all this happen the same way she does. She's the one who gets killed. And maybe we see before Benson like pulls that gun, you see Wayne just be like, fuck this. And like, he just takes off, so
Dude, that could even be it. Like, they're walking and they see all this craziness happen, and they're like, what the fuck? And then we see it from Stella's point of view. She's like, oh my God, Wayne. And she turns, and he's just literally running down the street in the opposite direction. And she's like, what the hell, dude? And then she looks back, and that's when we see Benson standing, now that she's alone, standing across the street, and he pulls the gun. And then the gunshot, so we do that. Wayne hears the gunshot and turns just in time to see a man with a smoking gun walk behind a Festivus pole and disappear. And he's like, what the hell?
Oh, dude, let's just like keep the ball rolling. Like, let's keep this momentum. So like we follow Wayne as he like runs back to like the other guys, like, hey guys. But like he only, at this point, we have Hank, Kevin, Heidi, and Mackenzie left. Let's just have it. Let's pick 2 of them. Let's pick like Hank and Heidi, right? Hank and Heidi they were like hanging out somewhere, I don't know, sitting on someone's porch, or sitting in their car like chain smoking because nerves or whatever it is. And you see Wayne run up to them and just like, oh my god, it's Benson still. I swear it's Benson. Like, he's back from the dead. Like, Stella wasn't crazy. And they're like, what are you talking about? And well, maybe they were like, they were getting high behind like the 7-Eleven or something. So they were a little like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And let's just keep it real brutal. Like, while Wayne is there, like let's have them walk by like this, at this store, this gas station. They walk by some Festivus decorations like in the window, and like as they walk by, Benson is just there. Like, somehow he's the decorations allow him to just teleport there or something. Like, they walk in front of the decorations. He's just standing there behind him like he was there the whole time. He just picks up that gun, he puts it right to the back of Wayne's spine, and it's just bam, 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 bam. Like, he empties the fucking clip, just standing there point blank, while Hank and Heidi are just like, what the fuck? Holy shit. They take off running, and it would just be like a brutal death on top of everything we just saw, to just like him, just from 2 inches away, just empty this clip, standing there like it's nothing. And
Here, I want to back it up real quick and add one thing. So I love this. I fucking love this. But so let's have you said Hank and Heidi, right?
Yeah, Hank and Heidi. Yeah,
okay.
Hank and Heidi.
So they're getting stoned behind 7-Eleven, and they're just like, Jesus Christ, can you believe that? Like, they're talking. We see Wayne come running up. He's like, and he does his whole thing about it's Benson. They're like, dude, you need to calm the fuck down. Like, I'm way too fucking high for this. Like, that whole, like, they're just kind of nervous. We could hear like some yelling in the store. and have the three of them run around the front. And we see like the cashier standing there, like, and again, maybe there's Festivus decorations, like there's like Festivus, the Festivus poles. Of course, they're all over town now because they had been setting up. But there's maybe have like, maybe they have like cards that say like air your grievances in the town square, like something like that. But we see the person in the 7-Eleven screaming as like Benson fucking like, I don't know, have him like do something like maybe he jams their face in the slushy machine and turns it on,
Nice.
like rams their fucking eye hole into like the Slurpee and like turns on it. So it's just like there's fucking Slurpee shit coming out of their face, like, oh, they're like choking to death on it. Have the three kids watching, they're like, holy fuck. Have Wayne piss himself. Just literally have like they'll do the close up on the three kids and like the one dude we just see the piss stain getting bigger, and then have Benson turn and look at them, start walking toward them. But since we have the decorations on the front of the store, like he disappears before he gets to the door, and they're like, did that really fucking happen? But there's a Festivus pole behind them. Nice. Benson appears right behind them, fucking jams the gun into Wayne's back, like literally Michael Myers style, like into his body, like with the shotgun from part 4, and then just fucking starts emptying the clip. So his body is literally being held up by a fucking pistol, just like as bullets are flying out of him, and his two stoned friends are just watching in disbelief, getting spattered with blood.
Oh, absolutely.
That was fucking chaos. I love it.
Oh, and see, again, I just want to keep this rolling, right? So we take Hank and Heidi, and we also have Kevin and Mackenzie left. And honestly, I think we need two of them for the scene that we were kind of talking about, for how we can maybe wrap this up, like our big climax. So, but I kind of like this almost like a baton handoff. Like we went from Stella to Wayne, and now here's Hank and Heidi. Like it would almost be funny, and you tell me if this is anticlimactic, but after all this chaos, it would almost be funny if like Hank literally he's an 18-year-old kid who just has a fucking heart attack in the middle of the sidewalk because he just can't handle all of this. Like he literally grabs his chest and his arm and is just like, what the fuck? I'm only 18,
I fucking love it. Yes.
It would just be so out of nowhere.
So we have Hank. Oh, dude, that's fucking hilarious. We have Hank and Heidi start running, like, because Benson like turns and looks at them, and we zoom in and what is one good eye? Like we zoom in through the fucking hole in the sack face, and he looks at him, and they're like, yeah, and they just run away, like literally no words. They just go, yeah, and run away.
Yeah.
And as they're running, like we see fucking Heidi just fucking hauling ass, and Hank's running behind her, and he grabs his chest, and he goes, the fuck, I'm only 18, and falls over dead in the street. Just like, blah. So now we're following Heidi as Hank's laying there dead. Oh my God. We could even have like Benson, like her look back, and Benson's just standing over top of him. Just like, yeah, I'm claiming this one too. Like, you kids started this. You brought me back.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's have Heidi run like back to like the town center, and like night is falling at this point, or it's already dark, and now basically this relay, Heidi's going back to find Kevin and Mackenzie, who are the other two survivors, right? And so we have these three. We just need two of them to kind of make it at this point, because Heidi was kind of already like touched by the devil. Like she's probably not gonna make it. But let's have Kevin and Mackenzie are hanging out somewhere again in town. All this chaos, everyone's freaking out. The police are running all over like crazy. It's like mass hysteria. Maybe people are starting to like loot the booths and like the vendors tables and stuff, and like smashing in windows. Like it's just total chaos. There's smoke, and again there's like sirens and lights, and the sun is going down, so it's getting hard to see. And you have Mackenzie and Kevin who are having this heated conversation about like, where is the fucking mayor? Like, we don't know what to do. Like, this is all, we fucking did this. Mackenzie's crying like, this is all our fault. Like, how do we stop it? We like, maybe the mayor can call in some help, like the National Guard, like something. Like, where is he? And they want to find him as Heidi runs up, and it's just like, oh my God, you guys, oh my God. Like, she can't even get the explanation out. So we can kind of figure out how we want to do this. Like, let's Heidi or whatever. But my point is that I want to find Mayor Gold, drag him out of whatever hiding place he's in, so we can, have our big like final conflict scene here in like the middle of this celebration festival, the middle of the town square, surrounded by all this chaos. So I think the last piece in the puzzle here is Heidi. What is her ultimate fate? And let's have Benson start like zeroing in on the final survivors.
Okay, well, okay, so we have, like I said, we had Heidi running from was it Hank's death? So she's running,
Yep.
and I think it's funny that it was the big jock, Hank Diesel. Was
Hank
that
Diesel.
the jock?
No,
Did
I
we
think
make
he
him
was
the
the
jock?
nerd. It was
We made
funny
him
because,
the nerd. That's
yeah,
right.
because his name was Hank Diesel, so he was the nerd. I think Wayne or Kevin, one of them was a jock. Like I said, this is all kind of interchangeable at this point, and in the last like hour or so, it's like, whatever.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny if it was the jock that had the, like the guy who was physically fit, but it's the nerd. Unfortunately, he's one of ours. But yeah, so
he's a weakling.
he's one of us. But yeah, he's dead in the street, and we see Benson standing over him. So Heidi takes off. Maybe she, runs into like Kevin and Mackenzie. Maybe they're at the town hall still. Like, I don't think Mayor Wilson would be even really hiding. He's in town hall. Like, maybe he's on the phone. Like, phones are blowing up. He's talking to the cops. He's talking to emergency services. He's like, this is a fucking nightmare. This whole town is going crazy. Like, and he's not even worried about the festival right now. The festival is the least of his worries. So he's just trying to fucking put a cap on all of this. The kids are there like after the crazy shit that happened in the town square. Like, maybe they didn't go home. Maybe they're still trying to help. Like, so they're at the town hall. So maybe they're out front, like I don't know, helping with crowd control or something. And Heidi runs up and she's like, "Oh my God, guys, you're never gonna believe what's happened." Like, she's like rapid fire, like freaking out. And her friends are like, "Dude, you need to calm the fuck down." While that's happening, maybe there's like another car accident at the end of the road, just something crazy. But we see Benson walking away from it, and Heidi's trying to point him out, but there's chaos happening everywhere. Like, maybe a car hit like an electrical pole and like the electricity's going out on one half of the street, just chaos where people are screaming and yelling. Heidi's trying to point it out, but failing. And then eventually I want them to see Benson doing some supernatural shit. So like, maybe he disappears behind one of the Festivus poles, appears, behind, another dude, and like cuts his throat. And they're like, "Oh shit, like it's real." Like, have them just freak out and run in, like, as Benson is literally just going through the town, like teleporting from decoration to decoration, murdering fools openly in the street. Like, he's airing every fucking grievance he has. He's just fucking stabbing
skulls.
Right, exactly. He's aerating their skulls. He's stabbing them in the face, shooting them in the head. Like, he's just fucking them up. So the kids run inside the the mayor's office. They just burst in. They're like, "Oh my God, the killer's out there." He's like, "You need to calm down. We got fires everywhere. We got electrical problems." Like, he's just going off. And have them try, like, tell him, like, "You have to call off Festivus. That's the only way to stop him." Like, maybe that's what they assume, right? Because it's like he's the Festivus killer. And have him be like, "Festivus, that's the damn last thing I'm worried about right now." He goes, "Don't you know we got people dying in the streets? We got there's accidents." He's just flipping the shit out. Well, Benson, just have him fucking walk through the door. Like, and the kids like run around the desk, like behind the mayor, and have the mayor be like, "Now what the hell do you want?" He's just standing there. And have maybe like the kids start like shaking the mayor, like, it's the killer, it's Benson, it's Benson. They're shaking him back and forth. He's like, "Would you get the fuck off of me?" And he shoves one of them. And then maybe like, I don't know, we want to have some kind of pratfall moment where maybe when he goes to shove the one kid off of him, he accidentally trips, and like something where one of the kids shoves into the mayor, and Benson stops, and he just looks at him, like, does the Jason head tilt look, and have to be like, "Why did he do that?" Be like, "I don't know. What are you doing in my office? Get the fuck out of here." And then have like Kevin's still alive, so have Kevin just kind of punch the mayor in the shoulder, and have Benson stop again, and be like, why every time you get hurt he stops? And then like maybe
wait, like a little exploratory like light punch on the shoulder, and have the mayor be like, "What the fuck, little bitch? What are you doing?"
Yeah, exactly. Like, "You son of a bitch, why you hit me?" And then have Mackenzie be like, it's like we have to stop you to stop him. Like some stupid, like overly dumb leap of logic. But then have the mayor just be like, you ain't got to do shit to me. We got to stop this motherfucker. Then have Kevin just be like, you're the head of the town. Festivus isn't over until we wrestle the head of the household to the ground. We have to stop you, Mayor Wilson or Mayor Gold. And have them just start beating the shit out of the mayor. And the whole time have it just be like, what the fuck's going on? And we could even have it fall behind the desk. Like you hear him getting hit and like, ow, my butt, ow, my neck, like just jumping. And then have like Kevin jump up, kind of tap his elbow and fucking do a drop. Yeah. Like Mackenzie pick up his chair, and the whole time you just hear Mayor Gold get the shit whooped out of him behind a big desk. And the whole time Benson is just slowly stepping back, just slowly walking away. And when the mayor finally gets knocked out, he's like dust in the wind. He just disappears.
Yeah. I love that. It would just be like this total anticlimactic moment of like, okay, it's over now. Bye.
Yeah, exactly. There's no big showdown. They whoop the fuck out of the mayor in a big budget 3D movie. This is where we lost all of our budget. They are literally making noise behind a desk, and randomly people are jumping up and dropping down with different props.
Yeah, we have to have like one scene where Mackenzie stands up and she's just like, okay, on the count of three, ready, 1, 2, 3, like he has to pin him to the ground, and then you see like Kevin jump up like, yeah, we did it, and maybe Mayor Gold's like hand comes up just all bloody like he's trying to reach up, and it's shaking and then it just like drops, like he didn't, like that dramatic wrestling move where he didn't quite have the strength to get up after the pin,
And that's the thing, like when his arm finally drops, that's when Benson disappears, and they're like, Festivus is over, we won. Yeah. And then the next day we see the town like cleaning up, and we see the mayor. It's like maybe it's early in the morning. We see the mayor like wrapped up in all sorts of like bandaging and shit. Like he's got a big thing around his head. He's all fucked up. He's getting put in the ambulance, and they're like, "We're sorry, mayor, but we had to." And he's like, "Go fuck yourselves." So, like gets dragged in. Like that's all he says. Go fuck yourselves. And gets put into the ambulance. And then we pan out while like the fucking like Cindy Lou Who kind of song is playing, like hoorah Lou.
Yeah.
And we just see the town on fire.
Yeah, we have to do that. Yeah, we see the town on fire. Everything, and you see like Kevin and Mackenzie. Wait, did Heidi survive this? I forgot. I forgot about her.
Yeah. Barely. Well, we never said what happened to her. We had Heidi, Kevin, and Mackenzie in the office with the mayor. So fuck it, have all three of them survive. There's no reason. Yeah. All three survived.
Yeah, but let's hurt her. So let's have Mackenzie and Kevin be the ones who beat up the mayor. It would be really funny, and this has happened to me before, and trust me, it hurts like a bitch, where you have like Heidi in the mayor's office and like the door is shut, and then have Benson Stills like kick the door in or bust the door in with like supernatural power, and the fucking doorknob just jams right into like the small of her back, and she's just like on the ground in like kidney pain, like she's gonna be pissing blood tomorrow.
when that happens, she literally just like, so the door gets booted open, it hits her, and all we hear is the smack, and she goes and falls over.
Yes, and like that's the last we see of her. Like she survives. Maybe we see her on a stretcher at some point later on, getting loaded into an ambulance. But whatever. Like she's off the table.
Oh my God, go fuck yourself.
And then of course, and I'll give you credit to this because you mentioned this when we were taking a break. But like as like the scene dims to black and the credits start to roll, just like in these old like 80s 90s movies, there'd be like this mid-credit scene, but instead of like stopping, the credits would just keep rolling down one side of the screen, and then you'd see the other side of the screen, like the left or right side, would fade in, and there would be like something else happening, and maybe we see some of this business where somebody's like cleaning up. Yeah, somebody finds Heidi in the mayor's office and like, oh, we got a live one over here, and you see the camera follow the EMT over to her, and then the camera just keeps moving while the EMT's like stopping to help, and the camera goes down the hallway and like makes a turn and goes down another hallway and out to like the front part of the town hall where they have all these like Festivus decorations, and it zooms up into one of those clocks hanging on the wall in a bag, and then you just hear tick tick,
yes,
tick, back to black.
So could Benson come back again? Maybe.
I think so. I mean, they didn't stop him. He literally just, like faded away like the Marvel heroes when Thanos snapped his fingers,
Yes. Well, I mean, that he was connected to the holiday, and the holiday was done. So he's got it.
Right.
He can only come back when Festivus does.
Right. It's like, when December 26th, man, Santa Claus is chilling. He ain't coming back with
Exactly.
presents. The holiday's over, man.
It's like Jason, he does his scrapbooking and his laundry on Saturday the 14th.
Exactly. Oh man, this was good. This was just like the last episode actually, where we hit a certain point where we were like, man, we have this like good idea, but we just can't quite connect the setup to the ending that we want to do. But
Yeah.
just by stopping and thinking about the logic of the timeline and really just saying, you know what, like fuck it, let's just have a splatterfest, and like who gives a fuck if it even makes any sense. Like as soon as we just kind of decided that was the path to follow, it was like, oh man, here's the whole end of the movie, just laid out the whole third act. Like here it is, this is awesome, and it was the most fun of the whole story, I think.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and I think this is something that happens to every writer, but definitely happens to us when we do these episodes is, we get jazzed about an idea, and because we're coming up with it off the cuff, we hit a wall, where it's like, fuck, how do we get around that? And then you start overthinking it. And once you start overthinking it, which is exactly what both of us did, once you start overthinking it, you can't move past it, and you have to step away and go, wait. How can I re-examine this? And I'm glad we did, because I feel like we were floundering, and then when we stepped away, gave ourselves a little breathing room and a little less time crunch, it was like, okay, we can do this. And I'm really happy with where it came out, like where it ended.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think this is good. I'm super excited about it. And as with a lot of episodes, we start to wonder like, oh shit, man, is this the one? Is this the one where it's going to crash and burn? But we pulled it up. I think we pulled the nose up and landed this baby. And man, it's I'm pretty excited about it. This was pretty fun. And we have another slasher to add to our stable of like, the League of Extraordinary Raised by Rentals killers with Jurgen the Yuletide Avenger and Pancake Face.
I love the fact that we're slowly creating this pantheon of slashers. Also, that this was a slasher movie where a fucking dude dies of a heart attack.
Just cause,
like let's think about that. We kill several people with guns, and we have a dude die of a heart attack in a slasher movie. That's fucking fantastic.
I do. I love just using guns, just out and out, just having a guy walk up to somebody and just bam, 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 like that.
Oh yeah,
what these killers would do. I mean, think about it.
Have you watched Terrifier yet?
I haven't. No, it's on my embarrassingly long list of shit I need to get around to. But I'm gonna watch it soon because Tegan really wants to see those.
I will say that like Art is not opposed to using guns, and the first time I saw him use a gun, like it comes out of nowhere and it's perfect. It's one of those moments of like, oh shit, look at that. So I always appreciate that when a slasher character isn't opposed to using long range weapons. Like the time Jason uses a spear gun, he's just like, yeah, we're gonna hit you from range. Like I don't care.
Like isn't it like, is it the first kill after he puts on the mask finally in part 3 when he just uses the harpoon and shoots the guy in the head? Like isn't that the one? Yeah.
Well, yeah,
perfect.
he kills what's his nuts, the oh god, I can't think of his name, but the annoying dude. He kills him, gets the hockey mask, and then it's the chick who sees his or drops his wallet into the water, and she's like, "Oh, I'm getting your wallet." And he walks out with, she thinks it's the dude pulling the prank. He just walks out all casually with the harpoon gun, and I know it's because he's literally setting the harpoon on the string that's gonna fly at the camera, but he just kind of takes his time aiming and then just fucking launches it and shoots her in the eye.
Yeah.
Such a great kill.
I don't like the special effects in that because like it doesn't really hold up, except at the same time I love how cheesy it is, and I love how Jason just kind of saunters in and saunters off like, oh yeah, I almost forgot about you, here, take this.
And that's the thing I love, because he just drops the gun like, okay, you're dead now, and just walks away. It's so fantastic.
And like I was just trying to do something like interesting and fun, thinking of like the heart attack thing, but realistically it would be something like, the reason that Harrison Ford, shot that guy with the scimitar in Raiders of the Lost Ark because he was like sick that day and was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot the guy, instead of like engaging in what was supposed to be a choreographed like sword fight or whatever. So I just pictured this being like the special effects like makeup coordinator who's just like, look, dude, I am all out of like rubber latex after all that bullshit. Like, can the dude just like trip and fall or something? And like they like they had this whole big gory thing planned where Benson Stills was gonna like punch his heart through his chest or something, and they were like, nah, just have him have a heart attack. Like we'll just move on. Let's like we're losing the light. We got to get back to the town square.
So and he's gonna be one of those like the actor would be one of those people in a slasher movie to be like, where's my special effect? How come I didn't get one?
Exactly. And on every like documentary about the movie Forever, he'll always talk about that. Like, well, this is what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, I was supposed to get this big death scene, but no. Dude, this came out a lot more fun than I thought it was going to end.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very happy where we ended up.
Absolutely. And speaking of ended up, let's go ahead and wrap this up because we're running a little bit long. So once again, thanks everyone for tuning into the Raise Rentals program. We do belong to the Rad Pantheon, as always, a super team of podcasters, artists, musicians, an art collective of creative friends supporting each other and helping to spread the word about rad stuff. So if you have fun listening to our shenanigans, there's lots of other projects you can check out, several other podcasts that you'll enjoy. Mike, you have a couple of those podcasts. What do you got going on?
Yes, the Boogeyman's Closet. I think it's going to be another short month for us. We were still trying to get ourselves back on our feet. The scheduling is a lot harder now. Everyone's work is a little bit different. Maurice lives a little bit farther away now, so it's not always as easy for us to get together. But I think it's going to be 2 episodes in December. But we are going to be covering Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, which is one of the last 2 Silent Night, Deadly Nights to finish out that franchise. I don't know what our second Christmas movie will be, but it will be another Christmas horror. And of course, we got Count Creepyhead Saturday Morning Monster Mash, where 3 grown man children talk about pop culture and Muppets.
I like how that used to be talk about pop culture and bitch about toys, and now it's just Muppets. It's just Muppets.
There's so many Muppets. Like, we just do Muppets all the time.
Oh, man. But yeah, definitely check that out. Go to radpantheon.com to look up all of that stuff. And yeah, Mike, this has been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got a chance to do this. We're nearing the end of the season. We have, 1 or 2 more episodes coming up. At least 1 more that I'm pretty excited about for our second holiday special. This wasn't exactly a Christmas special. This was a secular holiday special, but we got to do an actual Christmas special. God damn it.
Indeed.
So that one's coming up next time. But yeah. If you had fun with us, visit us on those socials, drop us a line, leave a comment, leave a podcast rating. Let us know what you think we should improve next time. And with that, I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
And we have to return some videotapes.
Out of that, a new holiday was born. A Festivus for the rest of us.